Breakfast puppies, dinner puppies, lunch puppies, ain't no thing. I'll dust all them puppies because I'm Jebediah. I'm the farmer over here. I got all your dusting puppy needs.
This podcast contains adult language and content and is meant for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Down on the Gulf Coast, after the bombs fly, 200 years already gone by, but lurking snapping are on the menu at almost every Ben-Ville Square venue. The overseer is NPC. The players Jacob, Xander, Dr. K, and Bobby Beaujolais in the Big Easy try to stay alive in the fallout of Uranium Moonpie.
Hey, Jacob, what is this bizarrely cerulean liquid I see before me?
Have you tasted it yet?
Just now.
Let's see.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's an interesting flavor profile there. What is happening in my mouth? I don't know.
Yeah, what is happening in my mouth right now, Jacob?
I think it's swamp water.
Well, it is Batre.
Battery acid.
Yeah, well,
Assault and battery.
named for two reasons. One, it does have this atomic green swamp water color to it that also vaguely resembles old battery acid.
So that's why it looks like this glass should have the MD logo on it.
Yes.
Okay.
What you are drinking is 1 part Dickel sour mash, 1 part cognac, 1 part silver rum, 1 scant part silver rum in specific, and then finished off with Jones Quantum Cola.
Oh, Nuka-Cola Quantum?
Yep.
Okay, I always wonder what it tasted like, hopefully without that fatal, dose of radiation.
Xander, you look a little pained.
It's Jacob. I'm never going to like one of his drinks.
Oh.
That's a damn lie. I have it on recording of several drinks you liked.
Mm-hmm.
You just hold the cranberry and the MD 2020 crime scene against me.
It's funny because right before we recorded, Jacob gave me a warm-up beverage that he made from booze in my personal cabinet, apparently. It's fine. And it was delicious. And his first response when I asked him what it was is something Xander would kill me if I served him. It had a Crown Royal Regal Apple in it. And it was delicious. It was delicious. I swear.
No, this is nice. It's sweet but not cloying.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice kind of finish. The flavors blend together, and the color looks toxic. It's great.
Speaking of toxic colors, you're listening to Bikers, Dice, and Bars. I was going to go with sweet but not cloying, but then she said toxic colors, and it's like, no, I got to go there. Anyway, sweet but not cloying toxic colors. You're listening to Bikers, Dice, and Bars here in Portland, Oregon. I'm NPC.
I'm just Jacob.
Dr. Xander, Gerrymander.
Poppy Beaujolais.
Dr. K.
And we are doing the third session of our ongoing Fallout 2D20 RPG actual play campaign that I have lovingly titled Uranium Moonpie. And kicking this one off with a Nuka-Cola Quantum beverage is perfect. Jacob, give yourself 1 XP.
Ooh, very nice.
What?
You only need 99 more to level.
Yes, and oh my god, given my character's run of luck so far, despite his high luck score, I'll need it.
Okay, a real quick introduction to your characters. We'll just start with you, Jacob. Tell the listeners who you are and who you're playing.
Well, I'm Bone. I'm just an itinerant trombone player. For all you smoothskins out there, yes, I'm a ghoul. And don't worry, I don't hold your condition against you. And, well, I'm originally from the Big Easy, but I get around. Any place I can pick up the gig, wherever the winds and the lady take me.
And let's just keep moving to the left with our next ghoul of the table.
Well, I'm Crystal. I've been around the area as a trader. I'm a pilot. I hail from Florida originally, and I've been just kind of making my way through the wastelands over these last couple of years as a ghoul. And my passion pre-bomb was to conserve and save our lovely critters. So I'm just out, just trying to make my way around in this world.
Look at you showing off your functional memory.
Dr. Xander Gerrymander. I am playing Captain Jack / Chef Jacques. Captain Jack is a pest control operator. Captain Jack's Bag 'em and Tag 'em critter control. He found a secret passion for cooking, so he eventually cut off his rat tail and made a fake mustache, and became Chef Jacques, who was a premier cook, and took Captain Jack's killings that he did for all the critters and made them into tasty meals and opened up a weekend restaurant.
Well, I am Poppy Beaujolais, and I am playing Dr. Phyllis Smith. You may call me Phil. This handsome, distinguished gentleman next to me is a Florida Panther named Mr. Whiskers. And I am a vault dweller, well, former vault dweller at this point, who has been unceremoniously and accidentally expunged from her vault where she has been born and raised. And I find myself now in this very interesting predicament with a lot of very colorful characters, and I'm just trying to survive at this point.
Expunged? What? Did they put a burn notice out on you?
It was like a, like think of like holding, like a beach ball underwater, like by about 10 feet, and then letting it go and watching it just.
And speaking of Mr. Whiskers, our house cat Kikuchio has now just jumped right in front of her.
Buddy.
Right on cue.
Wait, is that the panther?
Yeah.
Do we get any XP from the battles we just took part in?
We will handle XP, hopefully, at the end of the session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when we last left the group, we were on the boat, pulling our way through the swamp, heading on over to a shack that both Crystal and I happen to know about. It's a common meeting place for those of us who are drifters, traders, merchants, byways of the bayou and swamp. Everything from a small cache of emergency supplies to just a place where people can get together and do some trading. Should be safe. Of course, at our backs, we're watching the city burn. So here we are on a boat, a jacked up ghoul, playing a trombone, some weirdo in a fake mustache talking about what he's going to cook us when he gets there.
Oh, gosh.
This young lady of suspiciously questionable street smarts and her rather aggressive cat,
Kitty.
and of course, Aunt Crystal over here, who's our guide through all this. Let's hope we get there safe, folks.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's start the episode. Picking up where we last left off, the four of you and your cat. Oh, and your henchman. Forgot Emmett.
Emmett, yeah, can't forget about Emmett.
Assistant.
And Snappy.
Buddy, guard.
Snappy.
And Snappy. I'm picturing Snappy, the very large, elderly, toothless Snapfang, is probably helping to pull the boat. That's what I've got in mind.
That's what the beast of burden does.
Yeah.
He gives us a little nudge through the stickier parts of the river.
I find it funny that we're basically giving character and personality to a piece of equipment. Yeah, because the Brahmin was what you would have had were we not going with something more fun.
Right. Appropriate.
than a cow. Okay. In order to get to your next destination, we're going to break out some travel rules. So a bit of introduction of what's going on here.
Oh, God.
The 2D20 system for Fallout has two different opposing travel systems. One that was put out in the Game Master's Toolkit and one that was put out in the Winter of Atom campaign book. I liked the one in the Winter of Atom book, but I like them both, but for different reasons. So I basically took them and combined them into this something that reminded me also a lot of like, if anybody has played Dungeon World, there's an interesting overland travel system. So I've turned it into a 2-role system with the chance of having random encounters afterward. Since your destination isn't super far away, there's only going to be one set of rolls. There's really not much. We've got like an hour, I think, is going to be the basis of time for you to get from point A to your destination. So what you need to do is assign 2 people, or you could do 1, but we'll make it harder, to 2 different roles. There is the guide and the scout. The guide is responsible for aiming you in the right direction and getting you to your destination, whereas the scout is responsible for getting you there safely. Getting you there without losing additional resources, that kind of stuff. The guide is going to have to make a test based on their perception plus survival skill, whereas the scout is going to have to make a test based on their endurance plus survival skill. Now, you can assign the same person to both roles, but it will increase the difficulty of their test by +1, both tests. Just to make the mechanic a little transparent so you know what you're getting yourself into, the guide's difficulty for their test is largely going to be based upon how they're navigating, such as based on landmarks, and also how familiar they are with it. So the base difficulty for the guide's test to get to this swamp shack, let's assume that we're going with Bone here, because Bone knows the shack and has used it many times.
Okay.
And we're also going with the terrain here, where it's swampy. So we'll say that there are small landmarks here and there, broken trees, little bits of swamp ruins here and there that someone in the area would know to navigate by. You would need 3 successes on 2d20. However, because Bone is intimately familiar with the location, that reduces the difficulty by 2. Only 1 success would be needed.
Oh, thank fucking God.
If Bone were the guide. Whereas Crystal, you also know the location. I believe we had said this in the last, but you've only visited it briefly. For you to be the guide, it would have a difficulty of 2. Not quite as good as intimately familiar with the location. The second test will be the scout test. The scout will have to roll endurance plus survival. The base difficulty of that test is a flat 2. It could be modified by your travel time. If you are choosing to go at a leisurely pace, cautious travel, normal, a brisk pace, or you are hurried. It depends upon whatever you choose there could affect that difficulty. Who do you think is going to fill these roles?
I have a very important question to ask. Does the travel itself count as a scene?
Yes, it will count as a scene.
Okay. Then it is safe to put me in any position you want me to. This is the last scene that is safe to put me in any position you want me.
So, question. So, my character, I have no idea where we're going or what we're up against. So I can't take any of those 2 roles.
Nope, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. However, I can't imagine her just doing nothing on this boat ride.
Glad you asked. Anybody can assist these tests.
Okay.
You can only assist one of them. So if you assist one, you cannot assist the other. And you can assist however you wish.
I feel like given my general level of probable hypervigilance at this moment, I would probably be sort of patrolling the decks and looking if there's anything about to attack us, like off. Right? So I would be assisting the scout.
I would make a note, though, here that being the scout, the second role, doesn't really require any familiarity with where you are.
Okay.
It simply requires basic knowledge of survival and keeping an eye on your supplies. It's whoever has the highest endurance plus survival would be the best role for this.
That'd be a 9 for me.
My endurance is a 6 and my survival is a 3, so also a 9.
Yes,
okay.
Same for me.
Oh, okay.
So we're all great candidates.
I think just based upon some of the lore that we have established, I do believe that either Crystal or Jack would be the best for that role. And I will say probably Jack.
Yeah, I was going to say Crystal, I think, would be better off assisting Bone.
Yeah.
Again, she knows location.
Again, also pilot.
And pilots. And
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Now you can assist however you wish. However you wish to apply said assistance is ultimately a matter of what you can convince me will assist them in that test. It doesn't have to be the same test. So, Phyllis, if you wish to assist the test, you could instead, endurance plus survival seems like a good choice. However, if you've got something better and you think, I could be on the lookout for this, or
like perception.
Yeah. What's your highest skill
My
or stat?
highest stat is my intelligence, which is an 8.
Okay.
And then repair, science are both 3s and tagged. Medicine is a 3 and tagged.
What about survival?
Survival is a 3, but not tagged.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to go with survival, it would be the easiest choice. However, medicine, what was the other? Medicine
Medicine is a 3. Melee weapons is a 3. Athletics is a 3.
What are your
science.
tagged skills? Sorry.
Tagged athletics, medicine, repair, and science. Is there anything on the boat that needs repair?
Possibly. I would say that medicine could help. Well, in this situation, you might actually, you don't have to specifically choose now. Well, actually, you do. I'm sorry.
Bonus.
Yes, but actually, no.
Because the roles do go in a certain order. So the guide rolls first. So you could choose to assist the guide. And if you don't assist the guide, then you can choose to assist the scout. But the closest thing that I can think of would be intelligence plus medicine could help Bone, because Bone is injured. So you would say, I am helping him deal with his wound to keep him clear-headed.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Remind me again, what is the nature of your wound?
Let's see. Recovering from massive internal chest cavity bleeding, and I'm currently flying high as a kite on jet fuel.
Sweet. Okay.
I am methed out, and I
Cool.
should probably have someone
Superjet, I believe.
aspirate my jet. Jet fuel, actually.
Is jet fuel? Okay.
I think Superjet might actually be another one.
And you know what? I have a first aid kit, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I probably have the sucking chest wound, thing in there. So
Just put the needle in me. Just put the needle in me.
So that actually makes more sense. I will assist Bone.
Yeah. And so you know how it flows, because some of the options of what happens when you roll are based upon you knowing what's coming up in the flow of mechanics. Again, we're going to have the guide roll first to plot the course. The scout will roll second to make sure we get there safely and low and, not spend too much of our food and shit. And then finally, after both are done, I will roll to see if there's a random encounter. And so you know how that rolls, because again, some of the outcomes, like your action point optional spins, could affect what I do. I'm going to roll a single D6. And if I get a shit-eating grin pop up at the top, then there's a random encounter. And that random encounter could be good, but I'll tell you now, they're mostly not. But there could be a good one, just so you know, to make some decisions based upon the outcomes of your rolls coming up.
All right.
Now, with that all explained, who's going to be your guide and who's going to be your scout?
I think Bone is going to be the guide, and I'm going to be the scout.
Correct.
Okay. So remember, we're going to do a guide check, we're going to do a scout check, and then I'm going to roll to check and see if there's a random encounter. So we got
However,
the guide.
Since I'm getting a support, shouldn't the support roll first?
Well, hold on. Okay, so guide.
Yes.
You're going to start with your 2 dice.
Yep.
And you've got based on your perception plus your survival.
Okay.
Okay, that's your 2 base dice. So
We're looking
now-
at an 8. And it's a tag skill.
Okay, before you roll, who is helping the guide?
I am helping Bone is the guide. I'm helping Bone.
Okay,
Yes.
Phyllis.
Yes.
How are you helping?
I am going to politely ask him if I can help him with his wounds. And I'm going to put on my lab coat, which I have, and take out my first aid kit. And I'm going to say, like, let me help, please. You look like you don't feels so great.
Miss, I do appreciate your consideration. Mind you, from the depths of my heart, I do appreciate your consideration. But my understanding is you ain't ever seen my kind before.
So I'm going to give him a look that can only be described as Mom said, sit the fuck down and shut up and let me tend to your wounds, which I am well versed in, having dealt with a lot of stubborn scientists who never wanted to go to the doctor. And I'm going to say, sir, I may not have seen anyone who looks like you before, but I have seen sucking chest wounds before, and I know how to deal with them. So you would be advised to follow my instructions.
Well,
Look of death.
the lady counsels us to never argue with a woman in the depths of rendering care, and as I have a non-through and through the lower right quadrant, yeah, that seems like a good idea.
You're smarter than you look. Good choice.
Okay. Crystal?
Well, so I've been to this shack once, but I'm just wondering if we might need some more eyes on these woods, since there may be some critters. And considering I have Animal Friend, that might come in handy to help out our scout.
Got it. All right. Before we roll, though, there's a very important question. Bone, are we traveling? There's 5 levels of travel.
Yeah.
The safest is cautious.
Yeah.
To leisurely, to normal, to brisk, to hurried. It can affect your travel time, but it will also affect your complication range and the following checks roll. So whatever you choose, for example, if you choose cautious,
Yes.
you will double the time. You will eliminate all possibility for complications. So natural 20s don't
Yep.
matter.
Yep.
And the scout difficulty is reduced by 1. But if you're time-based,
Mhm.
that's the problem. It doubles the time. All the way over to hurried, where your travel time is halved.
Mhm.
Your complication range is 17 to 20.
Mhm.
And the scout test is increased by +1.
So I am being incredibly cautious for someone flying on jet fuel, which means we're one step below hurried.
1 step below. Got it. Okay. So you're traveling at a brisk pace,
Yeah.
which means your travel time is reduced to times 0.75.
And we're still going far too slow.
And you're going to have complications on an 18 to 20.
Got it. Oh, boy.
All right. Now roll first the helper, Phyllis.
Intelligence plus medicine, does that mean 11?
Yes.
So I have
Is
to roll
you-
11 or lower?
lower.
Okay.
And is it a tag skill?
Medicine, yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. Then
So
you can.
8 plus 3, 11
Yes.
tagged. Okay.
But you can get crits on both dice.
However, your successes cannot exceed his successes.
Oh.
So if you roll 3 and he gets 1, you get a total of 2.
Sure. Okay. I got a 12 and a 10.
Okay, a
Mm.
10 is a single success.
Single success.
Which means there is 1 counting towards it.
Yep.
Now, Bone, well, you've already rolled.
I already rolled.
Ooh.
So let's see. That 13 is a failure, but no critical. What does the fun little vault symbol equal? I believe it's a 1.
That's a nat 1.
Oh, that's a nat 1.
But is that a tag skill?
It is a tag skill.
Well, actually, it doesn't matter. It
Doesn't
could be
matter.
whatever. That counts as 2 successes,
So that would be 3 total successes,
including Phyllis's.
including Phyllis's.
Nice.
You only needed 1.
Yep.
Because of, as we stated earlier, there were small landmarks, but you're intimately familiar with it.
So what you're saying is we should have hurried.
Your travel time is reduced to 0.75. I said it would be an hour, so it would
Yep.
take about 45 minutes to get to your destination. Now you have 2 possible action points.
So let's see. We got 1 in the pool.
Yeah.
We're looking at. Oh, yep, that's
yeah,
right.
There we go.
All
All right. We got 1 in the coaster.
We got 1 in the coaster. We got up 3 on deck. 1 spent, just succeeding.
Yep.
We are going to blow another 1 to reduce his difficulty.
Okay.
That would be 2.
2. Well, then there we go.
Okay. Now we move on to the scout.
That's me.
Scout, your base dice pool is going to be 2 dice. You're going against your endurance and survival, and it's going to be a difficulty of 2, which is the base, but he has reduced it to 1.
So I need to roll a 9 or
Now,
under.
before you do, your helper, Crystal.
Well, so as I mentioned, my goal is conservation of animals, and this guy looks a little trigger happy to me. And I get we need to get into a destination safely, but we encounter any animals, I'm going to try and talk him down, as it were, before he can waste any precious ammo on my beautiful creatures of the forest lands.
You're not wrong. He is a hunter.
I have that card. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I see a whole enemies to lovers situation going on here?
Yeah. So you're going to try and prevent him from shooting things. Give me a stat and skill combination that you're proposing here.
Charisma. Okay, charisma is 6, so that's probably what I'm needing to work with my critters. And then, I would probably throw survival in there, which is 3, and that's a TIG.
Charisma, survival. Sure, why not? That sounds fun. Now, you have a companion, and the companion can assist you in some ways. However, Emmett's primarily ability is at filling things with bullets. But Emmett has a secondary ability. He's good at spotting things.
Oh.
Well, and again, I know we're probably going to need something for dinner. I'm just focused on my reptiles. I'm just trying to keep them safe. So if he sees some little rodent critter that he can assist in capturing, that would be excellent.
This is going to be the first time I've ever seen this happen, which is a help chain. First, I'm going to try and help Crystal. Emmett has assisted you with a single success. But in order for that success to work, you need to get a success. So go ahead and do it.
No dice.
No dice?
Well, no, I see 2 dice.
There's 2 dice, but they're not quite. They are not a 9 or under, unfortunately. So
if you would like, you can spend luck to reroll a d20 by calling upon Miss Fortune.
Would that be from?
Yeah, so you'd have to reduce that to 4.
Okay, at this point, I think we need to, get this party going. So reroll 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Each die can only be rerolled once.
11.
If you want, you can spin another one.
Oh boy! All right, let's go for it. Statistics on my side. Shoot. Nope, not today.
Okay. Two luck spent.
There it is.
Neither of you were able to assist Jack. Jack, you're up. I believe there's a single action point still in the pool. If you would like, you can spend that for 1 more die.
Jacob's pulling it.
I'm just ready to, because I have reach. That's the only reason. You call it.
I'll do it.
You call it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, rolling 3. You have to get
3 dice.
9 or under.
9 or under.
That is 2 successes.
Excellent. You only needed 1 in this case, thanks to Bone lowering that difficulty, which means you have generated another action point.
Yay, we get it back.
You can either put it back. Hold on. There's some other things that you can do if you want. You could spend an action point to find an additional supplies to cover what you would have spent getting here. Now, this is a short trip, which means that didn't really apply. But for the future, for longer trips, you can find a cache of supplies, or you do a little bit of hunting on the way. You spend that extra action point to find more food and water.
I mean, I was planning on hunting anyways.
The catch is, it doesn't linger. It only covers resources that would have been spent on the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, probably not the best thing, since this was a 45-minute trip.
Yeah.
We weren't going a half a day or more. In this case, yeah, putting that action point in the middle would make the most sense. You have 1 in the pool.
Yay, we got it back.
So your party will get there without spending any additional supplies, which is good. However, I still have to roll to see if there is a random encounter.
Is the face of a man who cannot read his own die.
These are different dice. I am using the dice from the John Carter system, simply because every 2D20 game has its own themed dice that you can get. They're almost impossible to find, except for the John Carter dice. And that you can get the John Carter dice for like $3 a set. So I have lots of these.
All I'm gonna say is there's a reason they're so available.
It's a good system. The book, however, is square and difficult to use at a table. But I did score an effect, which means there's going to be a random encounter of some kind.
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe it'll be a helpful NPC who's in a little raft and has I have all this food. It's going to spoil. Would you like some? Be like, well, yes, we would. Hope springs eternal.
Oh, Vault Dwellers.
Okay, give me a second.
Maybe they're nice.
Roll the encounter type. Okay.
You know, she's even weirder than those folks from the bunkus.
Yeah.
You gather about 15 minutes away from the destination. You are still inside the swamp. There's another couple of miles between you and the easternmost edge of the swamp when we get back into dry land, out of what is largely considered by many of the locals to be the extension of the irradiated biome.
Climate change.
Serious climate change. There was a nuclear winter. There's been 200 years of fuckery. So yes,
A lot of erosion.
Yeah, a lot of erosion.
Yes.
About 15 minutes out from your destination, looking for landmarks, when one of them very specifically draws your attention. And I will say in this case that it draws Crystal's attention. You were assisting, kind of looking out, finding things. The one that draws your eyes the most isn't something to prevent Jack from shooting. It's something man-made sticking out of the swamp, like the tail end of a plane.
Oh, well, I think that's something that we ought to investigate to see if there might be some supplies, rations that we can salvage from there.
It's possible. Would you like to stop and investigate?
I mean, we're going at a pretty brisk pace, my friend. I think
We're going so slow. Tunt.
You have a mortal wound, sir, that you're recovering from. You need to.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine in a few minutes.
So my suggestion is that we do a little investigating of this little craft up in here.
I will note that the craft appears to not be completely covered with swamp vines. It's just the tail end of it sticking out.
So you'd have to probably go and dive if you wanted to try to recover anything.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a no to me.
Case in point, I can breathe underwater.
I do have a Radix.
Does anybody have a really high perception you could roll against to be like, is this a smart idea or not?
Well, whether or not something's a smart idea is entirely up to you, in my judgment.
Is it likely to gain us a good thing or be a fight with something awful?
Yes.
Good answer.
I don't know what an airplane is.
Okay, no, you're not an idiot. I mean,
Okay.
you've heard of airplanes. You know that these things happened.
Film strips still
yeah.
exist.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not you're not y'alls who are born after the war. Even if you haven't encountered them, you've probably seen them in movies.
Could I roll against my intelligence and science and tell them what kind of plane it is?
Yes. Would you like to do
I would
that?
like to do that. Yes. Be like, oh, that looks like a blah, 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 blah.
I will tell you this. It's going to be a difficulty 0 test. The point of a difficulty 0 test is you can either just choose to succeed or you can choose to roll the dice and generate action points, but also potentially complications.
I do like action points, so I will roll against it.
Roll.
So should we say that's intelligence and like science or just intelligence?
I would say this would be intelligence plus science.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2
2 dice.
dice. Okay. Roll 11 or under.
We got us an egghead with us.
And how? I got a 16 and an 11.
An 11 is exactly what you need. That gets you 1 success, which if you want, you can throw in an action point. However, I will let you know that there is an additional expense for action points, which is obtain information. Ask the GM a simple question about the situation based on your test. Their answer may be vague. So I'll tell you what you see. That is clearly the tail end of a vertibird. Vertibirds were... You've played Fallout, but so you've seen the Brotherhood of Steel flying around in their vertibirds. Essentially,
basically like ospreys.
It's somewhere between it is Fallout's version of a hybrid between a twin engine double decker plane and a helicopter, like an osprey, but in small plane format. Typically large enough to carry 4 people in the back, 2 in the front. Yeah.
That looks to me like a Vertibird X2054. I just made that shit up.
It's been a while since I've been in one of them.
I mean, do they maybe have some weapons and something like that? Some useful supplies that could help us get a little further along our way?
Okay, I will ask a simple question. Will this encounter kill us?
That's a little vague. I need to know more. It needs to be about what you're seeing.
Okay.
Like, how old does this look? Or is there anything else poking out that might draw my attention?
Okay. Are there any other features of this vertibird that would clue me into whether or not there are likely useful supplies aboard?
Okay.
Markings.
Are you spending the action point to ask this question?
Yes.
Okay, the action point is spent. The answer, scanning it over, and maybe getting someone else to provide you a second pair of eyes to corroborate what you're seeing. You see the tail end of a vertibird sticking out of a chunk of the swamp. Looks like it hasn't fallen directly into like water, more into a mud bank. Half of it is just missing. You can't see it. It's either submerged in that mud or maybe it broke apart when it was falling. There is a little bit, just a hint of smoke or steam rising up from it.
Oh.
Just a hint. You see sticking out of a couple of locations what look to be human limbs.
Oh.
One is an arm that is wearing some kind of fatigues. Another is a leg also wearing fatigues. And another looks to be a head completely encased in this kind of armor that has that kind of extends larger from it and has these 2 binocular-like scopes on the front of it.
That looks like power armor.
From that is oozing out this miasma of green into the water.
Okay. Well, so Phyllis is going to tell the group, hey, that looks like a vertibird, blah, 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 rewind. I don't remember what I said. It looks like it crashed really recently. And I feel like I'm trying to maybe earn some good favor with these folks who have helped save my life and ask them this might contain some useful things for us. And I have no way of repaying you for your kindness and for your help, but it seems like I can breathe underwater and I could go look. However, I'm not immune to radiation. If anybody has any Rad-X or Rad-X, if anyone has any Rad-X, I could take a handful of Rad-X. I could dive down. I could see if there's anything useful and I could bring up any supplies. It'd be yours to keep. What do you all think? Is this a good idea? Is this a terrible idea?
Well, I would say as a trader, I like this proposition because I do, in fact, have some Rad-X, which I personally have no use for because I want that radiation. So if I could perhaps trade that Rad-X to accomplish this mission, then I'm there to support you.
I would also love some food, but we can talk about that later.
Do not worry, madame. Chef Jacques will have you covered in just a little bit when we get to the campsite, and we will go and have a great feast.
Oui, c'est bon. Any thoughts, questions, comments, cares, concerns?
Well, Captain Jack admires your ability to go and be so adventurous for being a vault dweller and encourages you to go in this endeavor.
Vault dwellers are by nature adventurous and hardy and stalwart.
Captain Jack goes and muffles his laughter at that notion.
So what is the plan? Are you going to keep going, or are you going to stop and try to salvage this site?
Well, I hate to overrule your bone, but your heart's cut, so I'm going to say we're stopping and seeing what we
checks
can
out.
salvage.
That checks out.
Yeah, I agree.
And whose fault is that, Dante?
Hey, you didn't have to take the jet fuel.
I have cured his sucking chest wound, and he's on the mend, I think.
Oh yeah, his physical injuries are fine. It's his mind that ain't quite all there yet.
No, did he take meth?
I think if just aside as a doctor, I would say that yes, in the Fallout world, that jet fuel would be essentially the equivalent of like a super meth. Yeah,
Super meth. Yeah. A methamphetamine.
Bone, why don't you go and keep polishing that pretty motorcycle?
Oh, no, I'm just going to sit here and practice a couple licks, if you don't mind. And I just warm up the trombone.
You're moving over to the vertibird. You're going
No.
to kind of pull the thing as close as you can without exposing, I'm guessing, the humans to whatever might be coming out of that, right? Or do you care?
I care.
I don't care.
Well,
Tomahawks.
okay. Well, you begin to pull closer to it. The vertibird looms up. As you're getting closer, you can kind of smell the lingering hint of like some kind of a burning fuel and a stronger odor, something that is coming through the normal sense of the swamp. And for what it's worth, it's a stank swamp. Y'all have just gotten used to it. This is a new scent that's coming up. Something more organic, something feral. But before we loot this vertibird, we have a new beverage. Jacob, what are we drinking now?
Well, you are drinking a concoction that does not have a name.
Well hydrated urine. It's kind of cloudy though, so I'm a little.
Yeah, well, you know, it's so not all that well
Boy,
hydrated.
whoa.
It's hitting Xander somewhere.
I mean, it tastes like alcoholic lemonade to me.
God, that was the goal.
Okay.
Xander, did it hit you right in the taint?
Mission accomplished, Jacob. You son of a bitch.
So the working title I had on this one was a Mobile lemonade, along the lines of a Lynchburg lemonade, if you're familiar with that drink.
Don't know it.
Okay. One you should be, because I think it's actually right up your alleyway. It is 2 parts mezcal to 1 part
tequila.
Sorry, you're right. 2 parts tequila to 1 part gold rum to 1/2 part Harlequin orange liqueur. I recommend going with Harlequin over any other brand for this.
It's good.
It's, in my opinion, the most versatile and for this flavor profile. Then you finish it with 1 ounce of squirt soda, finished with club soda.
But you don't have a name for this.
No, we will come up with one as we go.
I like the Ben-Ville lemonade. That's good.
Yeah.
The Ben-Ville lemonade. Yeah.
That was the working title
There
on
we
it.
go.
It didn't get a final one because I wasn't 100% confident this was ready for prime time, but I was running short, and let's just say someone in our house may have destroyed the primary alcohol in the other drink I had been planning on.
Oh, whoops. Mezcal always just hits me in a way that I don't find pleasant.
There's no
unfortunately.
mezcal in this. This is tequila.
But let's get to looting. You have pushed the barge closer to it, staying still just far enough away that you're not like floating into that weird greenish miasma water coming out of the helmet or the general vicinity of the exposed power armor helmet.
So can I, as Crystal, suggest to our vault dweller, whose name I'm probably not going to remember because I've seen so many people come and go over these couple hundred years. Yeah, the smoothskins,
They all
whatever.
look alike.
That's fine.
So if I could just say, hey, vault dweller, before you do this excursion for us, we're very grateful. I recommend you take a bit of this Radex. It's going to be a prophylactic to keep you from getting irradiated, so we can try and see what is on this vessel.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And just as a reminder, my name is Dr. Phyllis Smith, but you can call me Phil. And yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I would definitely like something to, I mean, my vault suit's only going to protect me so much, you know. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Like, do me a square and let me know if you get that wonderful tingly feeling while you're underwater.
Do you a square?
Yeah.
What?
You know, Daddy-O, just do me a square.
I'm gonna assume you mean do you a favor based on context clues.
Yeah, you get my drift.
Yes, the boat is drifting.
Darling, you go down there.
Yes.
If your skin starts tingling,
Yes.
you let me know.
Roger that.
I may join you in a bath.
The look on Phyllis's face right now is one of confusion and revulsion and curiosity at the
Mr.
same time.
Whiskers just growls at you.
Okay. You're right up to the side. You've got the Radex. Do you pop the Radex?
Yes.
Okay. The Radex gives you 6 points of radiation damage resistance.
Okay.
That lasts until the end of the next scene.
Cool. So I'm going to take off my lab coat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take off my backpack
Uh-huh.
and, make sure all of my, my vault suit is secure and everything is secure. I'm going to take the Radex with a swig of water and pull my hair back in a ponytail and say, well, before I do that, does anybody have a light that is waterproof, like a flashlight or a torch? Anything that's going to help me look at things underwater?
I mean, I have a few flares, but I don't think that's going to help you much in the water.
Well, flares might.
Would that give enough light to get a little
I
bit
have
of
a
that
Pip-Boy. My Pip-Boy has a light on it,
That's true.
right?
It does.
Okay, never mind. I'm good.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to, I'm not going to dive bomb into the water. I'm going to gently sort of get in the water off of the side of the boat and swim towards the tail, and then out of habit take a deep breath before I go underwater.
Did you say bomb?
I'm not going to dive bomb
Too
the
soon,
water.
Phyllis. Too soon.
Well,
It was 200 years ago. Get over it.
wow.
Okay. So, but you're going into the water.
Yes.
When you get there, what is your intention?
So I'm going to turn on my Pip-Boy light,
Mhm.
and my intention is to follow by feel to follow the tail down
Okay.
to try to find. I'm going to get to the armor thing in a minute, but I'm going to go to the main cabin. I'm going to try to find the main cabin
Mhm.
of the vertibird and have a look around and
Okay.
see
Got it.
what's there. Yes.
Before we do this,
Yes.
a quick aside. Crystal, I seem to recall from our unfortunately not recorded session 0 of character creation that you had purchased or were considering purchasing Aqua Girl.
Oh, that is a goal of mine. It is.
But you don't currently
I
have
don't
it.
have it yet.
Okay. Good to know. All right, Phyllis, here's what I'll have you do. We're just going to sum all of this up. I don't want to spend too much time on this random encounter. We're going to sum all of this up by having you make a athletics test.
Okay.
And in this case, I will allow you to choose either
Endurance or agility.
endurance or strength.
Oh, they're the same.
Okay.
They're both 6.
Endurance plus athletics.
My athletics is a 3 and it is tagged.
There you go. That means anything that gets a 3 or less will be a critical success for you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they're the same as a 6. So I got to roll a 9 or lower.
And just as another aside, Jacob, I don't know what the other people were saying, but this Ben-Ville lemonade is quite tasty.
Thank you.
I would drink this on my front porch looking out at the fireflies as the sun's going down.
Where is Ben-Ville?
Ben-Ville is to the east.
Oh, okay.
Now he's made me all sad. because we live on the wrong side of the Rocky Mountains.
It's fine.
No,
Phyllis?
it's not.
You got a base of 2 dice. Do you wish to spend action points to increase that? Or do you have any action points?
I think there's one in the coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know.
nah, you're
no.
right.
I think you're feeling lucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do have 5 luck points. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, that's fuck you,
I
all
got
right.
a 17 and a 15. So,
Well, neither of those are a success, but neither of them are a critical failure. However, do you have luck?
I do.
Have you spent any of it?
I have 5 points of luck.
So you have 5 points of your luck pool. You can spend a point of luck to re-roll one of those dice.
I'll do that. Okay. I'm going to re-roll 1 and see how it goes. A 1.
Ooh.
Good success.
Yeah.
Well, that is a critical success. So this test had, I should have said this before you rolled, but a difficulty of 1 just to do the thing. And the rest would be spent determining what you find.
Okay.
So 1 will get you in and around, and you start to, explore a little bit. You find that the vertibird doesn't extend much further because it's embedded in like a big old bank of mud.
Okay.
Most of it is either, you can't quite tell because you're not really yourself an expert in the architecture of these things. It could be largely submerged, but there could be some amount of it that's just not there. You're not sure what happened or
okay.
how it fell or why.
So it's either
Yeah.
been chopped off or it's like really mired in silt and muck and
I will
bullshit.
give you
Okay.
something, a little bit of information here that you're able to determine just from floating around it and trying to follow it. It's still warm, and it's a warmth that is not okay.
Nah.
Here's the list of things about this warmth. 1, it is an unusual warmth that would not be the kind of warmth that it would just pick up from the ambient heat of being here in the
Sure.
Mississippi Delta.
Sure.
Or sorry, the southern Mississippi coast. It is also not the kind of danger warning
Damn.
that you would get from touching something like that.
Okay.
That's over there with that pool of green shit.
Right.
It is the warmth that you might think of something that was probably in the air recently
Sure.
and had a burning crash to the ground
Okay.
recently.
Okay. Mm.
But you've got 1 extra action point.
What do y'all think?
I like scavenging.
I mean, that's our mission. You promised us something a little later.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm going to scavenge. I'm going to spend this, right? Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, no, because you gained an action
Yeah.
point from the critical success. So that could stay in
yeah,
the pool.
yeah. You're
Okay,
not
that
spending the
one's
one
stay-
from the pool, although you can.
Okay, so I'm spending
You
the
can
one that I
also
just
spend that
earned.
one for even more rules. You don't have to.
No.
I'm just saying that you get 1 extra from your higher normal success,
Okay.
from your crit, basically,
Mhm.
that will give you an extra roll. You're going to get a roll for free, a random weapon, a random piece of armor, and a random chem.
Sweet.
And you can spend an action point to get 1 more of those. And then I make you an offer. If you wish to swim into the green shit, you get a random roll on the good armor table.
Ooh.
At the cost of click, 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 click,
Yeah,
click,
sure,
of
sure,
the
sure.
rad, of the Geiger counter in your Pip-Boy going crazy.
Sure.
So I'm just going to say we might be taking 2 runs at this just because I think I might want to.
You feel a little better. You're feeling well enough to do some scavenging there,
Just
Bone.
remember, as ghouls, we regain
Oh.
health from
That's
Okay,
that's
so,
right.
Poppy.
I forgot I have a buff out.
Oh, this is a good one. Poppy.
Yes.
Let's roll the random armor. Roll me
Okay.
2d20 and add them together.
2d20 add them together.
Rat them together.
Add them together. 10 and 12. So that would be 22.
The way the rolls work is it's based upon the level, and the level is considered, because of this encounter specifically, you get a bonus here. So I'm going to give you an option because I like to place these things above board. You find either sturdy raider armor, and we'll have to stretch our imaginations to make this work. It is armor that you can pull off of one of these bodies that when you pull it off, you're like, okay, this is scrapped and torn. This is essentially Raider armor.
Okay.
Metal armor. So like bits of metal that you can actually put together and make a piece of armor.
Mhm.
Or dog armor.
By which you mean Mr. Whisker's armor.
I'm just going to say that physiology is not compatible.
That's very true.
But all it takes is a little bit of time and effort and maybe basic common supplies to rejigger something to
Too
something
bad
else.
we don't have anybody with a repair skill.
I mean, my intention at this point is to give all of this to Crystal, and
Just tell me what you pull off.
so I'm gonna go for the Raider armor.
Okay, you get a piece of Raider armor and make another 2d20 roll.
Okay.
I tell you what, Jacob, just make me the second 2d20 roll to
Oh,
speed things
Jesus
up.
Christ.
I just want to speed things up here.
No, this
Yeah.
is criminal asking you
You don't have to
do
tell me
this.
what it is yet.
Okay.
I just want to have it handy.
19 and 18.
19 and 18, so 37.
Seven?
Okay. This is going to be for the weapon. Oh, wait. Did I get that right? Roll me a d20.
1d20.
Tell me if it's even or odd.
It's a 1, so odd.
Odd. Well, that'll be range. So 37 on the ranged.
Is it a Gatling gun?
The only thing that makes sense from
Yeah.
these options
Yeah.
is you have roll me a d6. One of those special dice.
One of these shit-eating grins?
Yeah.
For reasons that we don't understand, Bone is getting very
It's
excited
a
on the boat.
blank.
A blank. Okay. You have a Gatling laser.
Yay!
Oh, Gatling laser.
Oh, shit.
It's the only thing that makes sense from these results is that you have a Gatling laser. You unfortunately do not have any power source for that laser.
Okay.
Would
Yeah.
be
And
a
finally,
shame if nobody did.
Jacob, what was the one that you rolled?
I rolled a 22.
With a 22, that's going to be a 22 on the Kim's table. Okay, you get an option, Bobby.
Yes.
You get either dirty water, or a stim pack.
Stim pack.
There you go. Sorry, stim pack diluted. My
Okay.
bad.
Cool.
You still want it?
Yeah.
Or the dirty water?
I'll take the stim pack.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, which of those would you like to have the extra roll on?
Weapons.
Roll me again. 2d20.
A 1.
2d20.
2d20.
Oh, sorry.
2d20.
A 1 and a 1 plus this. What's the other one?
A 1. 2.
So 2. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
Dang. Is it another Gatling gun? Is it a nuke launcher? What is it? Oh, no.
Oh, is it a fat boy?
It's a fat man.
Yes! Batman.
There's no ammo for this. Jesus fucking Christ, Phyllis. You got a fat man and a Gatling laser.
I just come up. Are these good?
That'll do, honey.
I
That'll
gotta
do.
see what a fat man looks like. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a portable nuclear weapon launcher.
Yeah. It basically just looks like a long shaft with a series of hoops around it that then fires a nuke. And the
Yeah.
nuke is about the size of a football.
It is functionally the Fallout version of a Davy Crockett, if you're
Yeah.
familiar with that.
Not at all.
So the
I
first time
absolutely
you
am.
encounter one in Fallout 3 is if you are going towards the Galaxy News radio station. When you're going towards that station, you're about to get to it and you see a whole bunch of Brotherhood of Steel and power armor. You're fighting some super mutants and then a wall explodes and a super mutant behemoth comes out. And this
Oh,
thing's
yeah.
like 40 feet tall. And then you realize there's a fat man on the ground right there. And I mean fat man. I don't mean a fat man. I mean a fat man nuke launcher
Right.
with a nuke. And you can blow that motherfucker up.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It is. Fallout 3 is to me one of the few games that I would classify as almost perfect in the way that it reveals everything to the player,
Yeah.
including shooting a fucking nuclear mini missile at a goddamn super mutant
That's
behemoth.
amazing.
It is a satisfying moment of play.
Okay, so here's what I'm picturing. I'm coming up out of the water. I've got the Raider armor stuffed in my bra. I've got the stim. I got the Raider armor stuffed down my bra. I've got the stim pack in my teeth, and I come out with the Gatling laser and the Fat Man sort of in each arm, and I just sort of surface like.
And at the same time, a +1 appears above your head because you get 1 bonus XP for breaking Jacob.
Yay!
I am so glad that breaking me has become an XP bonus for this fucking party.
Amazing.
Now,
Is this good? Is this good stuff?
you also have the option of getting close to the power armor and seeing what you can get.
Yeah, I think I'm going to drop this stuff off on the boat and then go swim over there. I'm feeling pretty good.
How warm was it down there?
It was tepid. It was warm, but not tingly.
Did you no tingle?
No tingle.
Okay.
It was warm though. It was warm like the plane had crashed recently, like engine warm.
Okay.
Not like my insides are cooking warm.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go swim into that green goo and try to get that power armor.
You let me know how that works out for you,
I will
little
let
lady.
you know. Okay.
Now, I'm just going to make a suggestion here, Bone. What you seem like you could use a little healing.
Yeah.
Is that something that would maybe help us out?
Well, I mean, there's no point in me diving in the water and picking up a whole bunch of bugs and parasites if, the swim doesn't give me that tingle.
All right. All right. Well, we'll let our little Vault friend take care of it then. If she's feeling so obliged.
I mean, Missy here is, kind of new to the world and stuff, but I would expect she understands exactly what Tarkov radiation feels like.
I mean, I've studied it. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so you've dropped the things off. Do you want to go back in? We get close to that armor.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to how much of that conversation did I actually overhear?
It's entirely up to your group.
Okay.
Like,
I'm going to say that I was putting that on the boat and I heard them talking.
Bone is high as a kite. Do you think he has volume control?
Fair. So I'll tell you what. I'll be like, Bone, it seems like you want to go swim through the green goo. Am I correct?
Oh, only if it's, got that tingle.
I'm. How long does my Red X last for?
Scenes are a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nebulous.
Ambiguous. They're an ambiguous. We're going to go.
Sorry, ambiguous.
Scenes. Now, it's okay. All right.
That's a southernism if I ever heard one, son.
I'm all about it. Scenes are an ambiguous sense of ambiguous building block here for the structure of their campaign we're doing. So the concept here being that you've got this Rad X going, and it's going to last for this scene and the next one.
Oh, okay.
Now this scene could take place for 5 minutes, and the next scene could be 3 days now. But technically, it's the next scene. Therefore, he keeps going.
Yep.
Okay.
You do you, little girl.
Excuse me, I am a doctor. Please just call me Phil.
Dr.
Yes, ma'am.
Phil?
Dr. Phil.
You just now picked up on that?
I did. I just now picked up on that.
I've been running on that one since session 1. It's okay, little lady. You go on back and do that. You drop that off there, and that happens to be the paratrooper model of the Mark 14 laser Gatling gun. And suddenly, Bones starts stripping this fucker down like he was blindfolded and not even because he's high as a kite, not even looking at his hands, but he's suddenly got it in pieces and then back together, cleaning every single bit of it.
Cool.
Did any of you remember Star Trek The Next Generation? There was an episode where there was a traveler.
Yes.
And I remember at one point, no. Star Trek The Next Generation, when there was something happening down on one of the computer levels and they had to pull out all the chips and then replace them in different things, and Data does it.
Yes.
But he
That
moves.
Yes.
That's how I'm picturing Bone do that.
While high as a kite.
Yes.
Because he's so high as a kite, his hands
Yeah.
are blurring as he is stripping down a Gatling laser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, do you wish to jump back in?
You know what? I've got the Rad-X. Why not?
All right.
I'm going to jump back in and I'm going to swim over to at least assess what looks like power armor and try to see if I can scavenge it.
I will once again have you make a test. This one, however, is going to be endurance plus survival.
Okay, endurance is a 6, survival 9 or lower. Let me move this thing. A 12 and an 8.
An 8 is a success, which means you will get close and you will get some basic information.
Okay.
That information is a super high speed ticky sound coming from your Pip-Boy as you get closer to it. And there is the head, upper torso, and an arm of a soldier in full power armor sticking out of this thing. The rest of them may also be buried there. You're not sure, but you kick back before doing anything.
Okay, so it's not like floating. It's like partially in the silt and the mire.
Yep.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
As if this soldier was in the vertibird when it crashed.
Gotcha. Okay.
And got submerged with it.
Okay. All right. So that being said, I'm going to swim back to the boat.
Yep.
And get back on the boat. And Crystal, I'm going to say, so it looks like this gentleman is in full power armor. However, he is pretty well stuck in the silt. And I think that, I'm not going to be able to pull off anything more than his helmet. If even that. And you would need a serious rig out here to get this. But I don't know if you have like scavenger rights. Is there any way you can mark it as like, yeah, this is ours? But I don't believe I can pull this out for you.
Was he in that green glowy thing?
Oh, yes.
Right in the middle.
My Geiger counter was going nuts.
Well, I'm just going to say that unless one of our folks comes through, that's kind of a no touch for you smoothskins.
Yes, I would
speaking.
love a shower.
So, Bo, what I'm thinking, why don't we make this a little team effort? Why don't we get out there and see how much of this fella's left, and if we can get some power armor for our next adventure.
The ticks of the Geiger counter on your Pip-Boy were extremely fast. I would have rolled that damage, but the maximum amount of damage that I could have done in the time that you were there was mitigated by your Rad-X.
Yes.
Well, then, I suspect that if we... do you have a spare line?
I mean, I may. I gotta...
I mean, you have a boat. I have to assume you have a spare line. We can run a lashing line or something over the side. And
I mean, Emmett seems to think I got one around here, so why don't we take that and see if we can drag this fella out?
Emmett says, Miss Crystal, I don't want to presume to tell you something that you should already know. Just forgive me if I'm stating the obvious. But that fella down there, and he's not pointing to the armor, he's pointing in front of the boat. I know he ain't got no teeth, but he still got jaws.
That's true. Maybe we can, that's a good call out. And I never want to overwork my pack animal. He's been traveling around with us all day, but I bet he would love to have a little.
I suspect
snack.
a team effort is in order.
I think he would like to give us a hand getting this fella out, and then he can have some nice dinner.
And Bone leans over to Crystal, thinking he's being quiet, and goes, besides, Snappy could use a snack, and the lady had mentioned there are some deceased smoothskins down there.
Recent too. He likes a fresh meal.
He likes a fresh meal.
Both of the smooth skins hear this.
Snappy becomes snacky.
I mean, I did have a pretty good skincare routine when I was in the vault, so my skin is pretty smooth.
Yes.
Okay, Crystal, I will have you roll this. This, okay, you're going to be rolling for... No, I'm just going to roll for it. This is much quicker if I do it. Nope, let's get it done. However, if you would like to give me an action point to spend on the creature in your behalf, let me know.
I think, do you trust him or you want to?
I think he needs all the help.
All right, let's give him a little
I'm
hand.
just going to do it real quick.
Yep.
I got a 17, a 15, and a 14. Now, if you would like, you can spend some of your luck to re-roll this.
Well, I would be happy as hell. Oh, shit.
Not yours.
Damn it.
You can.
I know.
However, Crystal, would you like to unlock Bones power?
Oh, fuck no.
Bones hidden
No.
perk?
Yes,
I knew-
you
no,
do.
no, you don't.
Absolutely.
You don't.
Yes,
You don't.
Would you, if you would like, you can spend some of Bones luck
I'm.
to use.
Yeah.
There's a downside to it.
Do you know what you don't know what your bonus is or your secret thing is, do you?
I have a strong suspicion.
Okay. Okay.
Just do it.
There's no downside to it. The downside is you can spend Bones. Anybody can spend Bones luck if they're in his party, and he agrees to it.
All right. Well, let's give
That's
her
it.
give her another roll. Let's see if we can get.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll the 17 because I'm assuming that's the one that's the worst. Ooh, that got a 9. Still not a success. We need an 8 or lower.
8 or lower.
Yep.
Do it again. Do it again.
All right, one more, Sermon.
Okay, re-rolling the 15. That's a 16. Unfortunately, we got
Do it again.
14s left.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Just how did you?
Oh, that's an. Sorry, that I knocked it over. I'm gonna re-roll. Sorry, this is a good drink, Jake. That is a 2.
Yay!
Oh, thank fucking God, because I only have one left.
And
Very
for
nice,
Snappy,
very nice.
that counts as a critical success.
Yes.
Just make sure I understand what's happening here. You're sending Snappy out to like grab that thing and just like pull it out.
Yep.
Yes, and we're going swimming with him to help guide him. And well, I might get a little bit lost in the sauce of the glow.
Because you want to heal yourself.
Oh,
Yeah. I could use a little healing
Oh,
too. We
this
got
is
that necrotic postmortem. So
Bone.
Yes.
Anybody who's going swimming needs to make endurance plus athletics.
Oh. Well, I succeeded on one, so one success.
One success is all you need.
all right, I'm gonna get out there too because I could. So just so I'm correct, I get a hit point back in my favor for
By being exposed to radiation
Yes.
in this case, there's a system to it, but yeah, we'll just say you start to heal.
Okay.
So if you lost any, you get back.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's
no,
strikeout city.
no.
No crits.
No,
but
nothing terrible, but nothing good.
Did any of you get a 20?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, being exposed to the radiation is still pretty good, but now as Bone is moving closer and floating in it and like, oh, this feels so good. And Crystal, as you know, you're trying to hold on, but you slip off and start to fall into the water. You jump in, begin to flounder, and pull yourself back onto the boat. Because that, again, it's not a crit fail. I'm not going to fuck you up because of that. So you jump in, you're like, nope, and get back out.
Yeah, it didn't go. The way I
Didn't quite
planned.
work as the way you
That's
wanted
all right.
to, but Bone and Snappy are still out there. Bone.
Yes.
Would you like to spend a point of luck?
I am going to burn my last point of luck. Yes.
Boy.
All right.
Oh my.
As you get closer and you feel that jet fuel pulsing through your
Yes.
body, it starts to pick up in intensity.
Oh.
You feel like all of your neurons are firing at the same time. And
I am having memories I have not had in decades
There are,
washing back to
what,
me.
billions, quadrillions, quintillions of neurons in the human body, even the
Billions.
ghoul body. You're just like, you are on fire and it feels good.
Yeah.
It's like firing all of your guns at once and exploding into space.
Oh,
You are like clutch. You have wrapped yourself around this armor.
yes.
Two things happen. One, the jet fuel burns out.
Oh.
2, your wound heals.
Yes. All of my wound heals?
Well, the injury is healed. The injury is no longer there.
Cool.
The jet fuel burns out, however.
Yeah.
You are no longer under its effect. You no longer have its penalty,
Oh,
but
son
you
of a
are
bitch.
still addicted to it.
And I'm currently running under the penalty now, aren't I? Fuck.
But the injury's gone.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, I'm fine with
Snappy is able to just yank this thing out.
And Bone comes
Snappy.
riding to the surface, clutched around the power armor with this blissed out expression on his face.
I'm just kind of picturing him in the Doctor Strangelove moment. He's
Yeah.
just like leaning back on it, waving his hat in the air as it's sinking down into the water.
Mr. Whiskers is just trying to do the little tappy taps on Snap thing. Just like the what? Snappy?
Snappy.
Snappy.
What you have managed to pull out of the armor, you have a torso, and only a torso that is salvageable, but it's in fantastic condition.
Ooh.
There's also fusion core. The fusion core has been ruptured.
Oh.
The fusion core probably has another hour. It could be repaired if you had the right facility. However, it right now, if you pulled it out of the water, would begin to ooze into the air, and anybody around would start to take radiation damage who is not a ghoul.
Tie it onto the boat and drag it behind.
And because you are level 1, it is only T45 armor.
That's still pretty good.
As much as I want to say tie a rope around me and drag me behind the boat, we should just throw that overboard.
Fusion core
Can
or
we,
the armor?
The fusion core.
Okay.
can we leave it to set and come back if we manage to have some time, get into that little cabin?
We could.
You could. You can mark it on your
definitely
map.
do that.
That's okay. Let's mark it on the map. Yeah, let's see how we do. We're right by this cabin, just a few minutes out. Maybe we'll have a moment to come back if we got the right bits to repair it.
Too bad we're in the bayou. Otherwise, just run a 40-foot line and I'll just float out on the back
It's
of the
pretty.
boat,
It's
clutching
pretty
the
stuck,
cord.
and it's pretty spicy with radiation. So
We're not so worried about that, honey. That's all I'm saying. But we're trying to look out for y'all.
Miss, you notice the needle you stuck in my chest?
Mhm.
You just take a sound into what you hear in my abdominal cavity right now.
oh, I'm good, thank you.
No. You honestly, this is for science. This is a learning opportunity.
The first time someone said this was for science was one of those vault boys trying to get into those vault undies.
No, I've heard that line before. I'm good, thank you. I will just
Oh, honey,
come over here.
you
fine.
got nothing that I'm interested in. This is truly for science.
I think that Mr. Whiskers is a fascinating specimen, and the fact that you wouldn't even be interested in him is, quite frankly, insulting.
I mean, it's a cat.
Okay,
It's useful.
this is a Florida panther, sir. They were on the verge of extinction. At any rate, moving on. You seem to be better, and we're just going to go with that.
Could you pull that needle out of my chest
Oh, you
now?
want? Okay, fine.
I was letting a lot of water in when I was down there, and it was uncomfortable.
All right, so we got that little piece of armor, right? That's something we were able to salvage.
Yep.
It's a big piece of armor.
T45 torso piece in pristine condition. Odd, given the situation, but everything else was completely unsalvageable.
Captain Jack suggests that we move on towards the shack so we can go and get some food because he's very hungry.
I am getting really hungry as well.
Just given I was underwater next to the whirlybird and such, was there any emblems, logos, etc., that I might recognize that a vault dweller wouldn't?
I will answer that question if you spend the action point that's in the pool.
That's
We
all.
have none in the pool.
None of the
Damn
pool.
it.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
No,
cool.
nothing that you could see.
Wait, do we get an action point for Snappy's critical success?
The critical success, unfortunately, happened to get you
The
a piece of
okay.
power.
Okay, that's fair. I can ask.
Yeah, that has already been spent, my friend.
Okay.
Worth asking.
No. That's good. That's a good question.
All right. So, well, we're pushing off then.
Pushing
We're-
off to the
we're-
shack?
Yep. Heading to that shack.
All right. We have a George Lucas style horizontal slide transition.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, God
Love
damn it.
love
I hate his horizontal slides. They're so hackneyed.
I am going to be on the lookout for any type of critter that I might be able to possibly hunt on the way to the shack to prepare for these folks to find meal.
At this point, you're so close that in the time between here and there, you don't see anything worth diverting your attention, at least.
Heard.
Yeah.
Also,
You think you might see like a turtle shell popping up and maybe some gator eyes floating, but again, it's fleeting and it's gone, and you're almost there.
I just want to let the party know now that my secret trait has been revealed. I have no luck points, so don't come begging to the banker, okay?
I'm so sorry. What is your special ability?
Other people can use my luck trait.
Ah,
With his permission.
okay,
With my permission, which honestly, I'm a generous guy.
And that means both his luck points and his luck.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we have a luck skill roll, we can use his luck skill?
Well, luck itself isn't a skill. However,
It's a
luck is a stat. It's a
Sorry,
special stat.
Sorry, stat, that's what I
that
meant.
If you spend his luck and he allows it,
Yes.
then you can use his luck. My take on this is that if you, as a player, wish to... So, okay, the way the luck stat works is if you have a high luck, or any luck, really, the mechanic works for anybody, but it's really only good if you have a high luck. You can spend a point of luck and use luck instead of whatever stat.
Yep.
So let's say you have an intelligence of 2, but you need to do some brain surgery and you've got a luck of 9. And you're like, well, I'm going to use my luck. I'm going to spend a point and use luck instead because I'm a lucky sumbitch who just pulled your brain out and put it in a robot. Well, his situation is you can spend his luck to do the same thing. You can use his luck in place of your luck. If you do that, you also spend a point of luck. However, if you simply wish to use his luck to affect a situation that he's nearby, such as a diary roll,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just spending one of his. But in all these situations, it is a thing that he has to allow. You can't just take his luck.
And all I'm saying is that I have no luck points left at the moment, so the bank is closed, folks.
Okay.
Horizontal slide transition, George Lucas style. We are moving as the camera shows your raft once again being pulled by the slight ripple and lump, indicating that there's a very large creature just in front of it, pulling this raft as Crystal is also pulling to keep it off of various obstacles. The sun has just hit the horizon and we see signs of the moon coming through this hazy sky. Unfortunately, at the same time, that storm that was on the horizon. Does anybody remember that storm that was on the horizon?
I do,
The
actually.
storm that was coming up from the Gulf. You're beginning to get the first hits of its rain. It hasn't come in full force yet, but rain is now falling from this orange-gray sky that is getting more and more towards gray and black.
Orange-gray, or is there any trace of purple in there?
No purple.
No purple? Okay.
I don't know what you're going for there, but no purple.
Orange, gray, purple in Florida. Don't know about the Gulf Coast. That's like clear sign that you have a hurricane rolling in.
Well, all I remember growing up in Alabama on the coast, red sky at morning,
Okay.
sailors
Take
take
warning.
warning.
Yep.
Red sky at night, sailors
Sailors delight.
That is
Yeah.
true. Anytime we have maritime stuff,
Yep.
it's just a
Wait, maritime law?
wait a minute. Bone will become a sovereign citizen on your ass in 30 seconds if you introduce that.
Sorry, y'all. That's a callback to Tales from the Loop.
That's give Phyllis +1. Boom. Phyllis gains +1 XP. Jacob and Xander should, but didn't get it.
I'm sorry. I blocked most of Tales of the Loop out just because it was a horrible game written that did not allow us to effectively defend puppies.
Yeah.
Well, on the one hand, I will fight you for it being a horrible game. It's a great game.
No, it's
but
a great.
I will fully agree.
Module.
That
Let me rephrase correctly. Module.
In retrospect, that module could have been better written, but we'll talk about that some other time. Yep. I think it was an expertly played adventure, and your players did fantastic.
It was one of my
Zip
favorite
is
gaming
so
experiences of all time.
Zip is so cool.
Anyway,
So cool.
rains are beginning to fall, and at least two of your group kind of pick up that these rain waters are carrying a little something extra. Something that to you, were you to go out and just swim in the rain, would be fantastic, but for the smooth skins of your group, maybe not so good. Anyway, we see the barge pulling up towards this shack that is built into a high bank here. You're still in the marshlands. You are about 2 miles to the east of your location, or the edge of this marshlands, where we get into the drier lands, the low, very low. May I make sure you understand how low the hills are on the southern coast, along the Gulf Coast. It's super low compared to anything we know out here in the Pacific Northwest. Low rolling hills leading towards the border to the next former state of Alabama. The shack is a simple scrap built single roomer shack. Up ahead, if this were made in a video game, it would have a single tile and some walls built around it, and a terrible shack roof built above it. It is on the outskirts of the wetland. This shack is used by scavengers, swampers, traders, and fishers, hunters, locals of the region. All share this shack. You know that it has a handful of small cots in it for folks who want to crash overnight. And it's got simple supplies there, accommodations to cook some food, boil some water, and that's about it.
A simple rocket stove.
Outside, it's got a drying rack to hang some meat. I mean, drying meat hanging in the swamp is not the most effective thing, but it does work.
Especially if you salt and smoke it.
As you get closer, here's what I would like. Each of you, please roll for me. Separate test on your own. Perception plus survival.
Well, that's a cock die.
Oh, I got one.
I would like to remind you that we have it as a tag skill.
Yep.
Which means each of our successes is...
No, well, if it's under the skill level.
If it's under the skill level.
Yeah.
If it's under the skill level, it's 2 successes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a regular good old success with that perception plus survival, but I also got a 20.
Okay. Anybody else?
I got 1 success as a 6 and then a 20. So 1 success.
Xander?
2 successes.
Okay.
Tris successes.
Damn,
Trace.
son.
Okay.
A 4 and a 3. So I am one of them was below my tag skill, so it counts as 2.
Got it. So that is a total of 2, 5, 6, 7.
Plus her critical failure.
Well, it's a complication.
7 successes, but 2 complications. Bits of information that you pick up as you get closer to the shack. There is a small, scrap-made, yet clearly sturdy-looking wharf coming out of the bank near the shack. Dozens, if not hundreds of times, folks in the local area have tied their rafts and barges and canoes or whatever up to this. It sort of dips down at a few locations, but those who have been here, you recognize it's sturdy. It'll get you to your destination. There is currently tied to it a raft similar to yours, a little bit on the smaller side, that has been smashed.
Ooh.
Not like to bits and bits, but it has been clearly smashed. And recently, there is a light on in the shack. Dim shadows flickering in some of the hide hooded windows. You can just barely make out the flickering of light inside. There's a rack, the aforementioned drying rack, hanging outside that has been pulled down, torn up, scattered across the ground outside of it. And you have 4 extra action points that you can either put in the pool or ask additional information.
Based on the shadow light in the cabin, the smashness of the raft and the smashness of the smoke rack, are any of us able to determine what kind of perhaps beast or destruction might have caused this?
Yeah.
You're not able to get that amount of information just coming up on the raft.
All right, well, I'm going to put the rest of these action points in there because...
That's not going to use the action point, though.
That won't?
Okay.
No. So you'll still have the 4. I'm not going to mark that off.
Okay.
It's a question I can't answer, therefore the action point isn't spent. It has to be something that you could reasonably see from your current vantage. Therefore, I wouldn't say that is something you could reasonably see. Therefore, I'm not going to cost you the action point. It doesn't get spent.
Do we recognize the shadows in the shack?
Here's what I'll do. I like that question. I'm going to morph it a little bit.
Okay.
And that is the nature of the shadows. Will they let us know about what's inside the shack? The shadows are those of a lantern that is flickering and dying. You spend only 1 action point to get this information. From those shadows, you determine that there doesn't seem to be anyone moving or awake inside the shack.
Okay, I think that's good information.
Poppy, you looked like you wanted to ask a question.
I forgot to ask a while ago. But do I have VATS?
I wish. VATS doesn't exist in this game.
Damn.
The action point
Well, I can't
system
just click.
essentially. Yeah.
Click.
That's
No.
how you survive Fallout. I get it. Yeah. At least 3-4 in Vegas. And
Turn around in a circle and click
76.
L1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. No VATS.
No.
Maybe. Are you thinking of tying off the raft and then kind of sneaking to see what the situation is?
I think that's what we got to do. We got to get that raft secure.
And as you were debating this, the rain is picking up.
Exactly. We got to get out of this weather. We got to get some shelter, and whatever's happening in that shack, we're gonna have to be ready to rumble if it's not on friendly terms.
Bone looks over at you, his tongue pill rolling to beat the band with his trombone in hand, going like, I could just hail the shack.
I don't know if that's quite as subtle as we're looking for right now, Mr. Bone. We might need to do a little more subtle reconnaissance, and you just hang back for a moment, and we'll get there. All right?
You got it.
As you pull up and begin to tie the raft up, the 2 smooth skins among the group smell something. Something burning. Something. Your mouths begin to water, actually. It smells tasty, like beans, but a little bit of a spice to it.
Red beans
but
and
it's
rice?
also tinged with a bit of char.
Oh.
It doesn't smell right.
Oh.
Like maybe it's burning.
Oh no.
Well, I propose that Crystal and I go and offer to very sneakily try to see what the situation is in the side of this shack so we don't come across anything unfortunate.
2 of you are going to sneak inside. What are the other 2 of you going to do?
Can I send Mr. Whiskers ahead to scope out the situation? Because panthers are known for being quite stealthy and quite silent while they're being stealthy.
The thing about Mr. Whiskers is he's not psionic. He cannot read your mind, and you can't really order him to do things as complicated as that.
Oh, all right.
You can be like, kill that bitch.
Okay.
Or defend me, or whatever.
Can't be like, reconnoiter. And he'd be like,
and
okay.
Occasionally, I might just have Mr. Whiskers do his own shit.
Yeah.
And if I do, you'll get action points as a bonus from that. As
okay.
Me. Or I might just spend like one of my action points to do it.
Okay.
But for the most part, Mr. Whiskers is essentially an assistant to your abilities.
Gotcha. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm just going to make sure I have my gun ready.
Okay. Well, Crystal and Jack, one of you will make a perception plus, we'll say survival to get more information, and the other can assist. Jacob, you look like you want to say something.
I'm just going to be standing on the deck of the boat with a laser Gatling gun at the ready. Yes, I know. Yes, I know as a player that it has no fusion core. I'm aware of that. Bone might have overlooked that small problem, but at the very least, a cleaned up, even in his weird, fucked up mentality of the moment, somebody standing on the deck with a laser Gatling gun at the ready is an intimidating figure.
It does. It does start to spin when you pull the trigger. It's just that when one would expect the laser blast to start going, nothing happens.
It's there for influence.
I am 100% behind this as a player who has done this many times.
Yeah, I think Crystal wouldn't pose that ruse.
Okay, so Crystal, Jack, one of you is going to make a perception plus survival check, and the other can assist.
Okay, so I'm rolling 2d20, trying to get 10 or under.
Before you do this, though, Crystal, do you wish to assist in some way? Keeping an eye out or however?
I mean, we're in pretty unfamiliar setting right now. So, yeah, I think that would make sense to do it a bit of an assist to be a good lookout while you start sneaking. Is that where we're...
Yeah, we're trying to sneak in, trying to suss out the situation as what's going on, where the smell's coming from, what the...
Right. You got the cuter nose for this smooth skin, so I'm going to leave that to you.
You have a nose for this.
So are you not going to assist then?
Well, I was going to say, I'll assist as a lookout.
Okay, then I'll have you roll first.
Okay.
What skill are you using to assist with?
I mean, I was going to say sneak and perception.
Okay, I like it. No, we'll pick sneak and percept. Yeah. That's a good combination.
Yeah.
I like it.
I got 9. Okay.
Is it tagged?
It's no.
Okay.
Yeah. 2D?
Yeah, just 2. Or unless you want to spend one. But this is an assistant role. There's no real reason to spend one. Yeah.
Oh, no. Nope. I did not do well. I got 18s on both of those.
Okay.
So not doing much.
All right, Captain Jack, 10 or below. Let's go. I got a 3.
Which
does that fall under the skill?
My survival is 3. It is not tagged.
Okay. A 3 will only count as 1 success. 1 success will get you information. It's the light on. You smell burning beans. There's some Creole spice in those beans. In fact, you recognize the recipe. Whoever was making these beans wasn't making beans. They were using the beans as a accessory to something. There's some mole rat. But not enough. Not enough. They didn't have enough. They They went a little overboard on the beans, but the beans are still calories. They're still a great source of food, but it's not quite enough. And unfortunately, they let that shit burn. Oh, what is this trail of blood leading out of the cabin?
Oh, dear.
Down the steps and into the mud. What the? That's all you get.
It's going towards the water?
Down the steps and into the mud. Not the water, the mud.
Just the mud. Okay. Yeah.
That's all you get.
So we'd have to spend an action point to know what kind of footprints.
Or just, no footprints, just a trail of blood.
Trail of blood. All right.
No prints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, it's someone who's been cooking, so probably human. But what caused the blood is... Ooh.
I mean, they could have killed something to cook it. And what we see is a trail of blood heading into the cabin from them dragging a carcass.
You, unfortunately, are certain that it is the opposite. That trail of blood
can see
is
that.
leading out.
It's dragging out.
Okay. Darn.
Well, I mean, we're still trying to see what's going on in this cabin. Maybe they left. Maybe they're gone. Can we
sneak up to the cabin, kind of take a little peek through the window?
Agility plus sneak.
Agility plus sneak.
Yeah.
Oh, my agility is great.
You should do that.
Can I do it?
You should absolutely do that because
Okay.
you're with me.
Yeah. All right. So I got agility of 8 and I got a sneak of 3.
Roll them bones.
All right.
11 or under. Let's go.
Yeah, I got a 2.
Okay. But you are also going to contribute to this, Xander?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going for 10 or under. That's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so here's what happens. You generate 1 success, which gives her an extra success, and you generate another one, which puts an action point in the pool.
Great.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's what I'm going with.
Great.
3 successes. The two of you sneak up on this shack, and you are quite certain nothing is hearing you coming up. In fact, the others are watching you do it, and it's like they're watching those silent moments in a movie where the director has decided to cut all sound to indicate that whoever is doing the stalking is doing so quietly. You are now up at the shack. The shack has a big old leather flap hanging over it as a door. Hanging over each of the windows as well, but a little bit of light is coming out.
All right. So we can't really peek, is what I'm hearing. We got
I mean, you could just sort of lift up a side of the
Yeah.
flap.
Okay.
In
Absolutely.
fact, peeking through a leather flap is significantly easier than peeking through a creaking door.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
We're definitely
quiet.
doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see a small survivalist shack, kind that you might find anywhere here in the swamp or in the wild, of areas where the number of locals of a more rugged bent on life kind of come together, and maybe not face to face, but through that unspoken bit of camaraderie, develop a place where they can all mutually call a hideaway or a safe place. There's nobody in there that you can see. There's an iron stove that has fire dying down in it. There's a burnt pot on top. There is a smear of blood from the center of the room and out the door. Strewn throughout the cabin are several bits of personal effects scattered in all directions. There's bits of scavenger-esque bric-a-brac hanging. It looks like you would expect such a place to look.
So I'm going to call out to Bo and be like, I'll clear.
Just the sound of a winding down laser Gatling. I'm just going to wind the gun down and just start tying the boat off to the dock.
Phyllis,
Given my, all right, so we're still on the boat.
it's up to you.
I'm close enough that I can see the blood and all that kind of stuff.
No,
No, I'm not.
you can't see shit.
Oh, okay.
It's dark.
And stormy.
It's dark and now soon to be stormy.
Okay.
The only information that you have is what you saw as you were coming up All the information about it being bloody is entirely up to the two of them.
Okay. So I'm just going to yell, "Hey, what's it look like over there? Are we okay?"
Well, I suppose it depends on, okay. We are fine. The previous occupants of this here shack probably are not.
So, can we come over?
I think it would be best advised if y'all were to come over yonder way and help secure a perimeter.
Okay.
I'm suddenly spacing your other dude on the boat.
Emmett.
Emmett.
For some weird reason, I was going Garrett. And so Emmett and I are tying off the boat to the wharf.
I know. I like to leave Emmett with the boat generally to keep an eye on the property. Snappy's, they're there to kind of hold things down, as it were. So I kind of like to leave him to that.
I'm going to start walking towards them and get an idea of who's going to do the sort of, I'm going to use this word again, the reconnoiter. That sounds like what we need to do. Like, is, Emmett staying on the boat? Me and Mr. Whiskers, what can we do to help?
Just for posterity's sake, I'm going to say I unshoulder my rifle.
Okay. You have a rifle unshouldered.
It is at the ready.
And I already have my gun pulled. As soon as we pulled up and smelled the stuff, I already had and I have 8 bullets left.
Okay.
I'm going to go and kind of get the 4 of us together, point out the trail of blood, the blood smears and all that kind of stuff. And can we tell if this was a person on person attack, or is this a creature on person attack?
It looks as if someone was in here and was attacked by a very large creature and then dragged out.
Ugh.
There's a lot of blood. Whether you don't really know much about how much blood a body can lose. With a lot of blood.
Okay, I'll take it.
So does anybody present have a medicine skill that they might be able to apply to the situation to get more information out of that?
Well,
if I come back,
where are you in your search of the area? Or have you come to the blood trail yet?
It's not a very big cabin.
Right.
So I figure it didn't take me very long to do a loop around and come back and see the blood and everything. And
would you like to roll perception plus medicine?
Yes. So I have medicine is a 3. It is tagged.
Okay, let's give that a roll.
Perception is a 5. So that's
8.
8. And
tagged.
then it's tagged. It means...
Or intelligence. Whichever's higher.
My intelligence is higher.
So let's go with that.
Intelligence plus medicine.
Yep.
So 8, 11.
Okay.
Great.
Below an 11. A 4. 1 success.
Ooh.
1 success. Some kind of beast of a very large crustacean nature
Oh, fuck.
attacked and dragged someone out of here. There is too much blood and viscera here for someone to have likely survived that attack. The blood leaves out into the swamp, but you're not a tracker.
Nor would I know what a mirelurk is.
In this case, it would be a mudlark.
Well, mudlark.
Mudlark.
All you know is very large crustacean, shitload of blood, not the crustaceans.
There you have it.
Are you sharing that information with
Yes.
us? Excellent.
Yes.
So I'm in the cabin at this point, in this little shack, and I'm doing an assessment because obviously trader, I want to see what we have to work with, what we have to salvage. I'm prioritizing drugs. I just want to, kind of see what we're working with if the need should arise.
Gotcha. The shack is a smashed together Franken build of a hut made from scavenged wood, sheet metal, and various boat parts and car parts. There are a number of bits, accoutrements that one would expect a swamp shack used by the locals to have. There's a few bunks, there's some sleeping bags kind of rolled up into a corner. There's just enough here for 4 people to comfortably sleep. There's
How convenient.
Well, there are 5 of you, but yes,
Oh,
how
well.
convenient. There's a small kind of, swamp kitchen setup, which is essentially just tiny little bit of fireplace with a pot on it. And that pot is current. No, wait, sorry. There's the iron stove. My apologies. The iron stove has some fire going. That fire is fading out, but on it is a pot full of beans. There's lots of personal effects strewn about. You see there's kind of a pack leaning up against the side, and before you notice the pack, your eyes catch the blink, less of a blink and more of a pulse of a light on a small, square, flat object on the ground in between the stove and the pack. You recognize it as a holotape.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, so
I can play the holotape, can't I?
You can, because you got a Pip-Boy.
In my Pip-Boy.
Unless anybody else has an option, I believe the Vault Dweller is the only one who actually has the ability to play that holotape.
that's right. So I will halt my search for drugs, and Captain Jack.
I'm going to take the beans off the stove so they stop burning, because they do smell pretty good.
I was going to say, I'm like, am I going to eat beans first, or am I going to, because we're very hungry.
They're still edible.
Yeah, but I want them to keep cooking. Yeah.
You fix them up, make them nice, you know.
You
so
probably
gonna
work
on
with
that.
this. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, I guess you're going to somebody's going to hand me the holotape.
Yeah, I find it. I hand it to you.
I'm going to pop on my Pip-Boy, like pour the water out of it, and then
Give a little shake.
give it a little shake.
You pop it out and hit play?
Hit play, yeah.
All right.
And just about. Dadgummit. No. Too close now. Steady yourself, old man. Eyes on the prize. Okay. One more try. And one more. Fuck yes. Oh, shit. Oh, dang, my mouth ain't right in front of a lady. Where are my manners? Okay. This is what you've been waiting for. Moment of truth. You can do this. Okay, here we go, little lady. You're beautiful. Dang it, that's my boot. Blasted all with the meat out there. Was looking too hard at that prize, eh, old timer? All right, little lady. Let's pack you up safe now and then go scare some varmints away.
Why am I crying?
Mission accomplished.
Oh, why?
That's.
Oh.
I know, it's a little tearful.
I am going to say, so Dr. Phil over here has told us that she believes it was a large crustacean that has caused this carnage, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Would I be able to determine this to be a mudlark? Because
Probably.
yeah. Okay. Cool. I got that
You're an
information.
exterminator, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm going to recommend we do, if these are going to be our accommodations for this evening, is to go and track down what I do believe to be a mudlark. If he is going to kill, he's going to kill again.
Emphasizing that is a lightning strike that comes out from behind, shaking the timbers of this shack. With also, lightning doesn't jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
There's a little jingle sound, and it's gone. And the pack falls over.
That pack I was looking at. Can I go investigate that pack?
Yeah.
If you're not, I'm going to.
Okay, so it's I had my eye on it first, honey.
I think we both look at each other and exchange glances, and then we both dive for it.
As you investigate the pack, there's a further tiny bits of tinny jingling. Investigation into the pack, you find a very well-preserved, obsessively so, in fact, wood and leather jewelry box wrapped tight in a canvas bag cover. It's like a hexagonal cylinder with a rotating base, the kind that you would stand on a dresser or table and spin around to access the little triangular shaped drawers that come out. There is a moleskin notebook in the sack with it. In the drawers are a wild variety of tiny mementos and collectibles. Bits of bone tied in string, small collections of tiny coins with weird writing and characters, exquisite tiny painted figurines, bits of jewelry, and more. There are 36 drawers in all.
Whoa.
Only a dozen of which are empty.
Normally, I wouldn't bother with this question, but this is the Fallout universe. When you say Moleskin Journal, is it an actual Moleskin brand journal, or is it a journal wrapped in mole skin?
Mole rat skin is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, mole rat
It's
skin.
got to be the latter.
Not mole miner skin.
It's a mole miner rat skin journal.
Questionable question.
Mole rat rat? I don't know. It's a moleskin journal.
May I
It
see?
is what you would picture when I say the words moleskin journal.
That's fair.
That is what is in
See,
front
that's
of
the
you.
thing. Two things came to my mind simultaneously.
May I see the journal?
I'll let you have a little look, lady, but just remember, I'm a trader, and first come, first serve.
The top of this jewelry box is a smooth, featureless wooden dome. It is set in a fashion so that pressing one side in causes the whole dome to rotate inward, flipping over and popping out a tiny figurine of a dancer with a tiny metal key crank next to it. The moment it flips over, the dancer immediately starts to move and spin along a very small circular track while tinny music plays. On the inside of each cloth-lined drawer is a small yellow sticker with a number written on it in a ballpoint pen. The numbers appear to be recorded in the accompanying journal.
Oh.
Well, why don't we work together on this one, Vault Dweller, to see if we can find some correlation while these gentlemen get to work figuring out dinner.
That sounds wonderful, and you can just call me Phil.
All right, Vault Dweller.
I go and motion to Bone and motion to the blood on the ground and it leading out and saying to him, Bone, if you are feeling more bona fide, if you will pardon the term, I believe we should track down this here mudlook to go and make sure we are not in imminent danger for the rest of the evening, in addition to go and procuring for us a tasty meal.
Sure. Yeah, let's get right on that.
Another lightning strikes, comes up as the rain picks up its intensity.
I again still have my rifle in my hand, so I'm going to go and try to start with Bone to try to go and track down this critter.
Bone seems real twitchy.
All right. Tracking down this critter would be endurance plus survival, difficulty minimum of 5.
Holy shit.
Do we want to track down the critter, or do we want to wait till it to come to us? Because there's 4 of us, and there was only 1 of this guy, as far as we know.
Oh, we got it.
The critter and the blood, it's probably satisfied.
Okay.
And whoever it was is probably no longer alive.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that person.
Well,
Okay.
You just
Here
want
I
the
was thinking you were a decent person.
Do you just want the Mirelurk meat to
Yeah.
make a more hearty meal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want.
We can do this if you want, but it would be a whole separate thing.
Okay.
Well, can you lure it? Yeah, can you lure it back? Are there some
Potentially.
are there some
Ooh.
entrails that we can set up as a little bit of bait?
GM to players, That would extend this another couple hours.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Not your goal.
I understand the direction you're going, but
No.
time.
Well, I think, Bone, I do believe this critter actually might be satiated with all of its eaten for the day, so perhaps we should just go and fortify this shack here and go and continue with these beans because they smell right good.
Just close enough to be right good. If you wish to eat the beans, we could actually turn this into a skill roll for you and actually finally see the chef's skills come out. Perhaps feeding everybody.
Before you go down that avenue, I'm just going to find a bucket. There's got to be either one on the boat or one in the shed, and just start slopping out all the blood from, just to make it habitable and not there's that stink for these poor smooth skins to be smelling.
That's real considerate of.
Do we want to look at the rest of the contents of the pack?
Oh, yeah, I'm letting you look at that journal, honey. If that's what you're fixing to do, I'm just exploring all these little compartments because I'm still looking for drugs.
Right. So my assumption is that she's looking at all the items, trying to decipher if any of them are worth anything, and I'm going to be helpful and read the journal and tell her what they are.
There are 12 empty slots, meaning there are 24 drawers that have things in them. 25 of those things are entirely up to you. We can come up with whatever you want to say is in there, and the more esoteric it is, you might even get bonus XP. However, one of them is very specific. As the two of you are looking through this drawers, unfortunately, Crystal, there's no drugs.
Aww.
One of the items, sticker number 13. It is a small silver locket without a chain, but polished to a sheen. Somebody cared very much about making sure that it looked nice. Inside is a picture of a young woman, a photograph clearly taken before the war. The accompanying notebook text is Emmanuel-Conti, Ben-Ville. It is dated 17 weeks ago, and the note says, "Softest eyes I ever seen."
This is where I pull out my silver locket and I open it up. And it's a photo of that fella. That was my love.
Anybody who looks at the photo in that locket can see a resemblance to the woman sitting next to you.
Was us pre-bombs. That was us before time. And I've been searching for him ever since. I never thought he would have survived, much less kept that locket. I don't know if he still recognized me, but I gotta find him.
So I'm going to very slowly reach out and put one hand on her shoulder.
Pat.
No,
okay.
I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder, and I'm going to close the journal, and I'm going to hand the journal back to her.
Oh, my Emmanuel, still out there. Oh, we need to find him. We need to get back to him. He's my only reason for living these 200 some years.
Mr. Whiskers is going to come up to her and give her a little headbutt.
the purr, the
and
vibrations.
Purr. Yeah.
Let's see if I can make that into the sound effect.
Yeah. And at this moment, I'm going to leave her. I'm just going to leave her be for a moment and get to just to have her moment and get to clearing up the shack. And maybe I can find any more information about this gentleman.
Just a quick note of other things that you find in this bag if anybody wishes to keep a catalog. There's a waterproof pouch that is full of intricate, tiny clockwork tools.
I think it's a you thing, Dr. Phil.
There is a scratch assembled sewing kit, also in a waterproof pouch.
Nice.
There is a fusion core.
Ooh.
It appears to be scuffed and scratched, but it is not leaking radiation. And anybody with a science skill can give it a tap and look at it to ascertain that there are... Who has the highest science skill?
Mine is 3, and it is tagged with my intelligence.
Tell you what, just roll me a 2d20.
Okay.
Ignore complications on this roll.
I had an 18 and an 11.
Okay. There are 8 charges left on this fusion core. That's a decent amount, by the way. But the final item of interest is a key. Simple copper-colored key. And attached to it is a tag with the code VB0333101.
VB, so Victor
Bravo.
033101.
Correct.
Okay. I'm like, beta? Oh, Bravo. Thank you. You think I'd know that by now.
It's been a long day, honey. You need a good meal.
I do. Yeah, I do.
We all been there.
And of course, 23 other drawers full of interesting items.
I think we may need to get a little bit to eat before we keep exploring this here box. It sounds like...
Sounds like what? Sorry,
I think we have
going to dramatically turn that towards Xander when you were done.
No! That's somebody's ready to get us some fixins.
It's been a long session. Captain Jack, I'm going to have you roll some... is this survival is going to be cooking?
Survival is cooking.
This is going to be based on intelligence. Intelligence plus survival. You need to salvage.
Okay.
You need to make something edible out of what was potentially once edible, but is approaching not edibleness.
You sure it's not perception?
No, he's got to work his brain.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Looking for 8s. I got a success.
Yay!
Sweet.
Nice.
A success is enough to turn this into a meal for everybody.
Yay!
Enough of a meal so that everybody involved will, food-wise, have 2 units of food eaten.
Ooh,
So for
nice.
this evening, if you wish to not be degraded in your hunger scale, if you have other sources of food to supplement it,
I have a carrot.
I have nothing. I'm assuming that Mr. Whiskers is eating those entrails.
Also,
He's happy as a clam.
this would be the worst turn on your character if you turned it to be vegetarian and you just...
No, I have a carrot I can add to this.
you have a carrot. You have a carrot. Anybody else?
I don't have a
food?
carrot.
I have iguana.
I have an iguana on a stick.
I'm not going to waste my iguana on...
Anybody with an iguana on a stick will get another 2 points. Will solve their food for the day.
Oh,
I have no other food.
Well,
all right.
would you like to cook something special for the group, Captain Jack? Or I'm sorry, Chef Jacques.
Chef Jacques would very much like to go and make a nice carrot dish for the company which he keeps.
Do you currently have the mustache in your inventory?
Yeah, it's in my breast pocket.
Okay, there you go. As long as you got the mustache, there's going to be no penalty to the skill check.
Okay.
Much like Samson, his power's in his hair.
In fact, Xander, I'm going to give you the option. And that option is...
Okay.
The mustache becomes a power item. I'm sorry, the rat tail turned mustache becomes a power item.
Okay.
Which means that as long as you have it, plus -1 difficulty to all cooking tests.
Great. Love that.
But if you lose it, +1 difficulty, if not +2, based upon the situation.
Yeah.
To all cooking tests.
Love that.
Grade it. So right now, with the supplies that you have in front of you, the pack that you have been scavenging through has other bits and baubles of
some food,
of scavenger stuff. It's not just the box, although the jewelry box and its contents are the most meticulously maintained, as if the former owner of this was putting all of his focus into making this perfect. However, he does have other supplies. Bits of spices, bits of meats, bits of vegetables gathered here and there. You could probably make a meal out of this.
Oh, I take all those.
In addition to everything that you were able to salvage from the beans that were the spicy beans that were burning.
Cajun spice beans.
Cajun spice beans.
Yeah.
Because you have the power of
Chef Jacques.
the mustache. you will reduce the difficulty to 0, meaning you can just succeed at this, and everybody who doesn't have to worry about it or doesn't want to spend the food can get 2 points of food. You don't have to roll, but if you do roll, you can get more. It's up to you.
I'm gonna roll this shit.
Okay.
So this is survival plus.
Whatever stat you can convince me applies to the situation.
Oh, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna use my charisma on this because I am so charismatic as a chef that I'm gonna I use all these really highfalutin technical terms
Like
for cooking.
the French words that we maybe know. But
I like this. I need you, Xander, to give me 3 of those words right now.
We are gonna go and make a Morat bean gastronome with a little bit a touch of the foam, which is a very technical term that is used in French cuisine, and then with a little a touch of the ratatouille. Yeah.
There we go. Those are 3 great words. I will allow it. You're going to be using charisma plus your survival
What was that
skill.
second one?
Ratatouille.
No, the second
ratatouille.
one. That was the third
the second one.
Oh, the vo.
Okay. Yeah.
Very technical French cuisine. I did not expect the Vato to know it because it is so rare.
That's a spice made by Lowry's, I
I'm
believe.
sorry.
Right?
Poppy, you don't know that word?
I don't. No.
All right, then.
Did I break Jacob?
You broke Jacob. You get another XP.
yay!
You pain me. Was the word "rue" too hard to come to your brain?
I was thinking bouillabaisse, but what do I know?
Glass.
You are really the day that you ask question, Chef Jacques.
Pain de Perdue.
I will never
And you know
feel
what?
bad about any
Croissant.
drink I serve
You know
you
what?
again.
Poisson.
Chef Jacques, you get a second bonus XP for turning that roux around.
Yes.
Oh, you will rue the day.
Okay, so that is
Boy.
a success and a 20.
A complication.
Ooh, Navy SEALs. I love it. Okay. This is great. Now, I'm going to hold on to this complication for a moment.
Oh no.
We're going to see what it does momentarily. Meanwhile, the rest of you are able to fill your bellies with
Oh,
the food
thank
that he's able to make.
God.
In fact, not only that, but the roux that he comes up with based upon the gatherings of supplies available is also able to fulfill your thirst. So
Ooh.
hunger and thirst are both fulfilled
Feeling good.
for the end of this day. You do not have any problems based on that. You are all sated and filled.
Okay.
The complication will come later.
Aw.
Oh, no.
While y'all are eating,
Yeah, Crystal had a moment before in finding that second silver locket. So if nobody had noticed, which they might not, because I like to wear layers, because Crystal's a little vain. She used to be a real pretty lady back in the day. She was a mermaid, so she tries to keep herself covered, but she also has a silver locket. And in finding this piece that she's been wondering about for the last 200 plus years, if her fiance had survived, she now has this confirmation of his existence not that long ago. And so she's feeling a little emotional, how kind of processing this and hoping it wasn't this poor individual that was dragged out of the shack, but a little concerned that might be the case.
Did Crystal recognize the voice on the holotape?
Crystal did not,
Okay.
but Bone did.
Oh, okay.
You recognize the voice as a local scavenger by the name of Philo, an old fella. Very odd. Kept to himself, was a fantastic haggler. Knew how to talk anybody down when he was interested in what it was they were selling. But it was also very specific in the things that he collected.
Yep.
He was something of In scavenger circles, he was the kind of fellow who was considered to be old guard. He'd been around so long that everybody just sort of accommodated his weirdness.
Yeah.
Because they're like, he's still kicking.
The only person who probably had been around more than him, around longer than him, was either me or Cristal. And like in my case, I wouldn't fucking remember.
He was so established, at least locally or here, that it was not quite a meme, but definitely one of those. Well, as long as Philo's still kicking,
he's an institution.
Yeah,
Philo is the Waffle House of this area. If he's still operational, then it's gonna be okay.
The Waffle House.
Now, wait a minute. Time out. I know what you've been like. You and I had a conversation. Let's just cut it right here.
You mean the Short Order?
Ooh.
They are their own institution.
Ooh, I'm excited. All right.
The Short Order is always prepared. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Philo was not quite the Short Order level of preparedness, but he'd been around a long time.
I mean, for traveling alone, yeah, he's holding his own, but that's not going to get you this far in the world.
Captain Jack, after he has served a wonderful meal to our... Oh, we have to have mealtime.
Right. Yeah, campfire scene.
Yeah.
So this is while we're doing the meal.
With the guy's blood all over the place.
No.
Although it has
Wait a minute. I did my
good.
best. There's not like a mop here, but I did my best.
Yeah, it was cleaned up, but there's still some smudges here and there. Reminding
The
you.
entrails are gone. The smudges remain. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Whiskers ate the entrails.
Oh, often.
I know, right?
Oh,
Such a
snap.
good boy.
So, Dr. Phil.
Oh, you can just call me Phil.
Oh, I've been raised to go and give people their proper accommodations in which they have earned. So, Dr. Phil, whereabouts are you from? You have a very interesting manner of dress and a seem of lack of understanding of the world in which you currently stand atop of.
Yes, I was woefully unprepared for this situation, and honestly, this was not planned nor expected. So I am from a vault.
Well, I thought we had bunkers out here.
Like a bank vault?
No, one of the vaults that was built by Vault Tech back in 2071.
That one of them Yankee companies, wasn't it?
You've seen them before, Bone. I don't think you remember real clear right now. But yeah, we've seen your kind over the years, and sometimes you come out right and sometimes you don't.
Really? Sorry. So I am born and raised in vault number 65.
Y'all could tell by the 65 on her outfit.
On my outfit, right? Yeah. Have y'all heard about Vault 65? No. Okay. So this vault was built and started operating, to my understanding, several years before the bombs actually fell, as a sort of a just in case. We, along with several other vaults, regional vaults, are, how do I put this? Have you ever heard of like the National Seed Storage Lab? No. Okay, blank stares, crickets. Okay. So our job in vault number 65 was to preserve regional flora and fauna of the Gulf Coast of the southeastern United States in the event of a nuclear war. Once the fallout has passed, when it's safe to replant and repopulate, we will have original, embryos of local wildlife, seeds, and sprouts and starts of the local fauna, flora. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. And yeah, my understanding is we were not planning on opening our vaults for another 100 years or so, given radiation levels. But it's been very confusing because we lost contact with the other vaults some time ago. Yes, Crystal.
So I'm hearing you talking about conservation, and
Absolutely.
That's what I was working on before the bombs fell, and I didn't realize there was this movement to preserve so much of that pre-existing nature to save it for what we
For the future of mankind, so we can try to restore this area to as close to its natural state as it was before the war.
Oh, honey.
And
honey. It's changed.
I can see that. There's a lot I don't even recognize. But that's how I came about to have Mr. Whiskers as my companion. He was he's a good boy. We occasionally, to test the viability of embryos, would choose a singular animal to bring around and birth, and we had these special vats. It's a whole thing. And when it was my turn to choose, when I got my 4th doctorate, which was very exciting, I got to choose which animal we would have next, and I chose this little guy because I thought they just looked really cute and really interesting, and I knew they were endangered in the past in the Florida area. And
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, darling. But there's a reason we got a lot of reptiles and amphibians out here that have thrived in this post-war apocalypse, and
I'm very curious to study your companion, Snappy.
Snappy.
I'm very curious to study him and see how things have evolved.
I mean, he might as well be a dinosaur. Like they survive forever. He is
very hardy animals.
He is just my companion longer than I've known that I would be alive, and he's helped me get this far and helped us get this far. So I expect some grace and some respect.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I would actually very much like to get back to my vault. As I have discovered, it seems that those of us in Vault 65 have not been without mutation, as it seems I can breathe underwater, which I was not expecting.
We noticed. We gave them a little note. Yeah.
So humans don't do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what the modern evolution of humankind looked like.
No, breathing underwater, as far as I know. So the problem is so, oh gosh, it's so complicated and it's really fuzzy. It happens so fast. I was working in the aquaponics lab, and there was some kind of explosion, and there was some kind of loss of containment, and I got blown out. As far as I can tell, me and Mr. Whiskers, I'm sorry, Mr. Whiskers and I'm so tired. I
don't think he's too worried about your grandma, honey.
No, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm trying to maintain my professionalism here given the situation, and
don't let that doctor get the better of you. Just speak plain, girl. Speak plain.
I'm trying very hard. I don't know what happened, but we were blown out, and luckily there was anyway. And I honestly don't even know where the entrance to the vault is. I just washed up on shore, and I have no idea what's going on. And you find people help me out without even knowing anything about me, and I'm just really thankful, and I really just want to go home. But I want to repay this kindness as much as I can by helping you folks out until we can figure out where the hell the entrance to my vault is, because it seems like no one knows. So that's hi. How are you?
As far as I'm concerned, the lady put you in my path, and I just took it from there. I don't know nothing about no openings to no vaults or nothing, but don't you worry yourself, little girl.
Thank you. Just not going to correct you. That's fine. Thank you.
But Boone, do you remember much of your history? Do you got some stories you want to tell around this campfire?
Bone proceeds to launch into this long story about a bar fight that happened in Ben-Ville apparently around a decade ago, when that he was just playing a set, playing second line to a hot guitarist, and next thing you know, Power Armor was showing up, and he and the band barely made it out with their lives.
I mean, I just shared a little bit about my Emmanuel, but I was a Florida resident. It was a beautiful space and spared, thankfully, from a lot of that fallout. But we still got touched by that radiation, and I got separated from my Emmanuel, and I've been looking for him these last 200 years with my snappy, and just trying to make my way through these lands with a little trading business. And Bone and I, we're acquainted from the before times. We bump into each other now and then, but in reality, like this is just a world where we need to support each other and keep eyes, and we'll see what we can do together as a group.
Well, I'm wondering where our next point of travel will take us after this here shack. This is not going to supply us for very long, and I don't like keeping on the road. All of my endeavors are in flames back there. I got nothing left.
No, sir. You seem like a resourceful young man.
No, my restaurant, my pest control business, they all gone. I got nothing.
Oh, don't worry. You can always start again. Trust me. As long as you got some skills and the tools to do them.
A little bit of luck.
Let me tell you. You can always find your way. Trust me.
Yeah, listen to your elder son.
Well, I suppose y'all a couple hundred years older than I am, so.
I mean, I guess.
So how does that work?
What?
So, how do I put this?
All right, sweet muffin over here. Don't know what she's looking at.
Now, honey, if a turtle or tortoise or gator can live going on a couple hundred years, why can't a person?
Well, sure. But, there's no way to say this nicely. I do apologize. What's going on with your skin? And you don't have noses, and you're very nice people, and I don't want to be rude, but what are you?
And the dandruff. Oh, sorry, that was me. I've played the games. I've seen the ghoul hair.
I just figure. I mean, and Bone, you let me know what your thoughts are on this, if you can remember them. But we don't keep what we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like everything is pageantry if you don't need it. And to be fair, I like to try and maintain my appearance. I was you saw that photo of my locket from my Emmanuel, but that's not what love is about. That's not what life is about.
Please understand. I'm not asking out of some sense of vanity, or it's purely out of scientific knowledge that I'm just trying to understand what happened here.
Honey, you're going to have to be the one to figure that out because we ain't qualified to answer those questions for you.
Okay.
The fascinating thing to me here, Dr. Phil, is the fact that this here one over here, this crystal, she ain't got the growly voice like most of the ghouls do. And I'm so curious. Oh, yes, sorry. That's the colloquialism in which we call them out here.
Okay, thank you.
They are from the before times and somehow managed to
now.
The long ago?
Not all of us. Not all of us.
But
some people experience radiation at different rates, darling. That's a little known fact.
This is going to be so fascinating to study. I really appreciate y'all sharing all this with me today.
I mean, in all fairness, and as Crystal well knows, not everyone who likes us, who looks like us, are as socially
Stunted.
A dip, honey, a dip. Oh,
I was going to go with the fact that, like, there are some of our kind that would rather have a snack of your face rather than a conversation with it.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh yeah, they are going to mention the feral ghouls here, in which their mind has been taken so far by the radiation, in which they do not take particular kindness to any kind of conversation. They will go for your face.
Okay, good to know. No.
Pork cheek, person cheek.
I don't know the difference.
Oh.
You are basically a barbecue to them.
Okay.
I mean, that said, you smoothskins will start eating each other at a drop of a hat, too. Let me tell you. I've
Oh,
seen that
my.
a time or two.
Oh.
Emmett kicks in at this moment. I gotta say, Mr. Jack, this is some good barbecue.
Well, put mustache back on. Chef Jacques is very appreciative of your kindness towards the food which I've prepared for all of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your meal. And we have some more extras for breakfast tomorrow.
Well, I don't know where you came from. This is some good food. This is good. This is good. Y'all, I'm just, hanging out here. I was just, I was just along with the wagoners to provide a hired hand, but I'm appreciating that y'all took me with you.
Well, that's why I brought you along, Emmett. I sense you good people, and I need good people on my craft, and you're doing the work that you need to do.
He appears as if he's blushing for a moment. It's like, oh, Miss Crystal, you just say where to go and I'll be there.
Yeah.
I kind of bring the dinner conversation to a close, but knowing there's a mudlark in the area, I'm going to try to see if there's any kind of like wire or bell situation I can go to make a kind of a perimeter around the shack to ensure that if anything comes across the perimeter, it will make a noise to alert us.
Emmett volunteers to help you with that.
Because he's keeping eyes on the boat, keeping eyes on the shack. He's being a good boy.
Well, I know an old home remedy, a whole protection against mudlarks. They don't like feline pee. I know we got a kitty, and that cat scares me. So, I'm not going to volunteer for this, but if you know somebody who can get that just cat to pee like over there and over there and over there, I think we'll be good.
So Mr. Whiskers is very well trained. I have trained him myself over these last 15 years or so. And I can tell him he will basically, if we're in an unfamiliar indoors kind of situation, he will basically hold it. And I will tell him when it is time to go potty. And he will go and I will take him outside and he will go potty and it'll be fine.
Miss, that was something I've been meaning to ask you.
Of course.
I've seen cats like this before, but the ones in Alaska were far larger.
They also didn't wear vault suits.
Well, that too, but
so cute in a little vault suit.
Is he full grown?
He is full grown. So Florida Panthers are a lot smaller than the ones you might see in the Western United States.
Oh, the ones in Alaska got big.
Yeah. Oh no, this is full grown for a Florida Panther. They are smaller. He's still a pretty good sized cat, if I do say so myself.
No. I'm not diminishing. I was just like, is he fully adult?
Just don't worry about it. We don't got no grizzlies down here. We're
I'm mostly concerned about whether or not it's gonna hit a growth spurt and get hungry.
He says this as it's hurrying up against Captain Jack.
Kitty.
No, he's a good boy. Okay, I can take him outside and
I'm not worried about him. I just, supplies.
Oh, I'm sure he'll find he's used to eating, organic raw meat. And I'm sure he'll find something.
Worst case, I'm going to give him some Calmax. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. He ate the entrails. He's very happy.
Satiated for now.
Leans over and quietly whispers to Crystal, "What was that word she used? Organic?"
It's organic.
Oh boy, we'll figure it out later.
Okay.
We don't need to worry about that right now.
Yeah. Well, it seems like no one here knows about this vault. So I'm going to need to go out in the world and see if anyone has any information about where the entrance to this vault is. And it's going to be a tall order. So in the meantime, I'm going to stick with them because they've saved my life at least 3 times, I think, at this point. So, but my little side mission while I'm helping them out will be discover information about my vault and how to get back to it.
Yeah, well, since I know my Emmanuel's still out there, and in recent times, I don't know if it's just from this trader's store or from more. So I'm going to need to ask some questions about where our recently departed friend Philo was from, and if we can track that a little bit further.
Well, Chef Jacques here has heard that there's a very nice cuisine scene in Ben-Ville, and recommends that is the closest, civilization to our current location. And I recommend we go to there as that will be the best source of the news of the day.
I mean, I'm between gigs. I know a man who knows a lot about hard to find things, especially look over knowingly at Crystal. He's my hookup for the sauce. He's out in Ben-Ville, and he gets secret ingredients for his sauces from all over the place. So, 1, food. 2, far away from that nightmare as possible. 3, anyone who can get weird ingredients has connections. So might be a safe place to check in with, at the very least, to get us back on our feet.
Do you remember his name?
That part I don't.
His name is the Sauceman.
The Sauceman.
Sometimes goes by beefsteak.
My brain was just hung up on the saucier. And I was like, that's wrong. I couldn't come up with it. And I was like scrolling through looking for it earlier, and I couldn't find it.
And anyone who can lead me towards a high security vault tech terminal.
We'll get there. We'll get there, honey.
You do realize that, like, this is bunker territory, not vault territory down here.
There's bound to be a vault tech building of some kind.
Oh, I'm certain you Yankees got everywhere down here.
Probably in a government building.
So it sounds like we're aiming east.
I propose we go and just get ourselves a good night's sleep, set up that cat piss perimeter system in which you are proposing.
Oh, yeah.
And we go and take a night of rest and head east in the morning to go find this Ben-Ville.
Head east to Ben-Ville, check in with the sauce man, and, maybe find one of these carpetbaggers she's looking for.
Oh, I don't think we're in any of the carpets, but maybe some bags.
Yes, I'm gonna.
And Phil passes out. The cat's beginning to purr up, curl into a little ball.
Finally, trauma consciousness leaves you.
As Phil passes into oblivion, the cat, Mr. Whiskers, kind of maneuvers himself to just lay across her head.
Somewhere, Bone finds a blanket and carefully tucks the cat and her in.
Yeah, at this point, we've already gone outside and gone potty, and he's done his perimeter of pee, and it's fine.
The rest of you begin to settle in, and Emmett's like, I guess I'll keep first watch.
Thanks, Emmett. And I clutch that second silver locket close to my heart.
And finally, because he's no longer moving, the post jet fuel crash comes hard.
He's in the middle of saying something or thinking something
middle
or
of playing
thinking
the
he's about to
trombone.
say something and he reaches for his trombone and is about to be like, and then thunk.
Yep.
Just falls over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Captain Jack is going to go and take second watch after Emmett.
Are you doing the dishes? Is that what you're doing?
I'm doing the dishes, yeah.
Oh, bless you, service.
And I'm going to go and take a second watch after Emmett.
Okay. Well, that wraps up the first day of this adventure.
Oh my god. We've been recording for 5 hours
Oh, it's a
today. No, I'm just
lot.
kidding.
It's been a while, but I don't think it's been that long.
It's dark out.
It's only 6:30. We've
It's
been
the Pacific
recording for 4
Northwest.
hours.
Oh,
It's 6:30 a.m. We've been recording for.
Jacob's beard is another inch longer.
That's just the jet fuel talking.
Yeah. Well, folks,
Awesome.
that concludes the first trilogy of sessions of our launch batch of episodes of this that I hope people will enjoy listening to as much as we've enjoyed playing it. What are your thoughts going forward, folks? Any words of wisdom to the listeners?
I, myself, Poppy Beaujolais, do not have 4 doctorates. I do not have a lot of knowledge that this character has. So when I say things that are incorrect, just go with it.
Well, part of the Fallout lore is people missing actual facts and knowledge, and so they do routinely explain things as though it is fact when it is not.
Yep.
But with an authoritative position. So
that I can do in
I
spades.
I don't think that's going to be an issue, Poppy. Is all I'm saying.
That's your charisma, girl. You got this.
I mean, there were so many things on was it Rivet City?
Oh yeah.
About the U.S. Constitution, all that stuff that was just so blatantly wrong, but they didn't have the knowledge about it, so they just kind of collected what they could find,
There you go.
and then just kind of said what they wanted to, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's how the country was founded, I guess.
I think
There
one of
you
the
go.
finest examples is if you play Fallout 4 and you make it to Diamond City and you talk to the fellow who explains how baseball was played, and he is in so many ways completely wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how it's played now.
Swata,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
gotta play Swata.
And you, as a player, get to choose. Do you correct him or do you just nod along?
Just be like, that's great. That's great.
Yep.
But no, in general, the thing I'm finding both fun and challenging about playing a Vault Dweller is trying to balance out the knowledge she has about science and repair and survival and all of these things. And she's a very intelligent person and she's got a lot of training in lots of different survival techniques and et cetera, et cetera. But just being put in just the culture shock that she is dealing with. So trying to balance out the I'm trying to be professional, I'm trying to be helpful, I'm trying to just go with it in survival mode like I've been trained, and also what the fuck. So it's really fun and it's really challenging, and I'm pretty well enjoying it. And I don't think I actually intended to for the Dr. Phil reference. It just accidentally kind of happened. So
Very few people intend for a Dr. Phil reference.
I know, exactly. Especially, yeah, for real.
Nobody
And,
expects the Dr. Phil
Nobody
reference.
expects. Oh, Jesus, it's not about you. All right. But yeah. So okay. Anyway, but yeah, I'm very much enjoying myself.
Yeah. No, and same. I mean, having spent a fair amount of years in a similar era in Florida and being able to now expand upon the rest of the southern region and what that might be like has been kind of enlightening. And I, want my character to be tactful.
I mean, I'm enjoying myself. I'm getting to use certain parts of my knowledge base that I don't have much call to. More so as some of the dropped references I have made so far become more and more center stage on the character. But, it's so far been real good.
I've been enjoying this. I am really hoping that any of our listeners in the Southeast United States can hear these things and recognize that we're with you. Like there is lore there that is ripe to be explored, that few things I feel have done so in a way that is respectful to that lore. A lot of times they're played for laughs or, it's talked down to, but I feel that your accent doesn't imply your intelligence or your worth. There's just so much happening in the Southeast that we tend to overlook. And being from that region, having grown up, knowing all of the stories, having experienced these places, I am excited to give them their own new lore for a future that never will. Well, we don't know. We don't know there.
Knock on wood.
That has not yet happened, but that could for this region.
As a Gen Xer, I'm just going to say I grew up with having to watch replays of like the Apollo mission series, and you're listening to mission control officers with deep Texas drawls or Louisiana Gulf accents.
Yeah.
Doing high speed calculations with a goddamn slide rule for orbital insertion trajectories. So that's front and center in my mind. I grew up without that weird sort of bias. That was something that really came into my life in the late 80s.
Well, no, you are spot the fuck on. You listen to all of these older recordings and these collected logs, all of which are in the public domain, folks. You can go and acquire them. They're all available.
Yeah.
That NASA and the United States government has put them all out there for anybody who wants to hear them. And you can listen to all of them, and you're like, and they're talking to Houston. They're talking to Canaveral.
Yeah.
And both of those are key locations in the goddamn Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, these are Southerners who are doing some crazy ass shit. And yet, throughout so much of modern media, you hear the accent, and it is turned into this immediate rally for idiocy.
Yep.
And I don't believe that has to be.
And this is Dr. K speaking. I received a doctorate and a postdoctoral master's degree in Florida, and I stand by that. And so does every employer that I've ever had, and my clients as well. So there's a lot of really hardworking, smart people that come out of the South, and I think this is going to help dispel some of those myths and rumors.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm looking forward to exploring more of the myths and the lore and the Fallout-ified versions of what could be from those regions.
I'm just waiting to hear how many different people have now inhabited Spanish Fort. I'm very curious. I really hope we end up at Spanish Fort because that fort.
There's Fort Condi, there's Fort Morgan, there's Fort Keynes, there's Fort Pickens. There's so many forts.
When you talk about Spanish Fort, first of all, you have to narrow down which Spanish fort are we talking about? Are we talking about the 2 in Florida, the 3 on the Gulf Coast, the 1 in fucking Cape Cod?
The one in Mobile that was what was like the French, the Spanish, the French again.
Oh, yeah. When you grow up in Mobile and you visit the Fort Condi.
Okay.
When you go and you go through the history, you're like, okay, this is the year the fort changed between the British, the French, and the Spanish, and then back to the British. You're like, what the fuck? It's fascinating.
They're popular, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, the bottom line is the Spanish knew how to build great defensive architecture to the point that the Choctaw occupied and maintained one in Florida until they forced the U.S. government to sign the only non-defeat peace terms with any Native American nation.
So, see, there's so much that we can dive into. There's so much
history.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it. And I love these characters. I love where this is going to go. And I'm excited to fucking roll Tide.
Yep.
Yeah, roll Tide.
No! Wait. We get an action point from you.
We got one from you, but she lost it. No!
Fuck, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Bobby.
Oh.
It's okay.
We were... fuck.
We're a rule-abiding society for...
Maritime law?
Anyway,
I
one
will
thing,
make Bone a sovereign citizen at the drop of a hat if you keep bringing up Bone.
Jesus Christ.
we will deal with this next time. But I wish to go on record by saying that your characters, for surviving and going through everything that you've been through for the past 3 sessions, for overcoming the obstacles that you have defeated, the raiders, scavenging the place, exploring the location that is the scavenger shack, you would get exactly 111 XP,
Yay!
which will put everybody to level 2.
Oh, yeah. I've got 113 now.
Me too.
Wait, why didn't I?
Well, some people got XP for being silly, and
I got action points for being clever. So I'll take this.
Yes.
I was specifically told to try to not be silly.
I will say this, that while I appreciate the references to previous episodes of our podcasts and things, and I will award this with a point of XP. 1 point of XP in this game ain't that much.
No, that's fine.
So
The Dr. Gerrymander, I should say, did have me listen to the whole episodes between our last session and now.
I did make her listen
And
to the
I
2 whole
understand
episodes.
how he shouldn't be friends with you, but he still is.
I'm sorry.
I am a bad man and a friend of a bad man.
I was going to say, which of us are you talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, how
Good
do you-
answer.
Yes.
Good answer. I'll give you a bonus XP for that,
Yay!
Shall we wrap up with
Let's
our
wrap up.
closeout?
Kristen. This has been
That's okay.
this has been the 3rd episode of us playing the Fallout 2D20 role-playing game as an attempt to kind of come back to this podcast, of which I have been holding on the faith that I will not let it die. It's we have like 2 people out there who are waiting for more episodes. And to you 2 people, thank you.
Thank you,
for
Greg.
sticking around. Greg and whoever else the other.
Yes,
other
thank
of
you,
you
other
is.
person.
I want to give a shout out to actually Greg. Greg has the voice of our introduction overtone. The war ain't changed. Thank you, Greg. And I want to give a shout out to Isaac Sher. Isaac has done many of the voices of the introductions to either the Half Movie Will Games podcast, the Glitter Boys podcast, and more. Isaac is a fantastic fucking human being, and he did the voice of Philo, the late scavenger, and I think he did a fantastic job. Thank you, Isaac. And I look forward to many more voices from other guest speakers as I bring in more of these fun little holotapes.
Amazing.
Anyway, this is Bikers, Dice, and Bars. We are recorded here in Portland, Oregon, in person in our
Woohoo!
studio. We wish to have you join us in our Discord if you could. It is breakfastpuppies.com/Discord. We all hang out there in various quantities and bits of presence. Mostly me. Yeah, admittedly.
I try to check it about once a day.
I check in a couple times a day.
Yeah.
And then he lets me know what they check in on you.
And we get Jacob like once a week.
A little bit more than that. But
But it's always a wonderful contribution.
But we encourage you to stop by and say hello. Let us know that you heard this and you thought it was fun. Or if you got questions, or if you think we did a rule wrong, let us know so we can correct it.
and definitely come in and let us know why Auburn is a better team than Alabama.
I will fucking fight you.
I thought you were friends.
The Iron Bowl, Iron Bowl 2270 something is about to happen.
Holy
In this-
shit. We just lost the entire state of Alabama.
No, I think we just lost half of the state. No, we actually didn't. We just gained all of the state of Alabama, who are going to listen in to see who wins.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Because that's how the Iron Bowl works.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, I'm
All
Pac-12,
right.
so I'm just looking at these beautiful yellow and blue colors and just thinking to myself, ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-da.
I'm just still not over the fact that the Western Athletic
Oh,
Conference doesn't exist anymore. I'm so behind.
I'm sorry. Is the
Red
vault
Bruins color.
suit Yeah, ruins. Is that what we're
UCLA, baby. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
If there were some orange in that, it would be Auburn colors.
Okay.
Just saying.
I don't know.
But there's not. So roll Tide. Anyway,
Oh,
We
I
get
think-
the point.
Wait,
We get the point.
we get a point. Yay! Roll Tide.
no.
Poppy! God
So
damn
gross.
it.
I'm so sorry. I'm
You-
so trained. When I hear somebody say it, I repeat it. I'm
You
so
wasted us
sorry.
2 action points.
The correct response when he says roll tide
Mhm.
is War Eagle Pride.
no, it's War Damn Eagle.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks. This is Bikers, Dice, and Bars in Portland, Oregon. I am NPC.
I'm just Jacob.
Dr. Xander Gerrymander.
I'm Poppy Beaujolais.
Dr. K.
We wish to remind you, please.
Keep her shiny side up.
Always tip your bartender.
May your dice always roll crits.
Please always drink responsibly.
And why wear pants? Just no pants.
No pants. No pants. I will raise this empty glass to no pants.
Yay!
No pants.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, friend. Thanks, y'all, for listening to the Backers, Dice, and Bars Uranium Moonpie actual play campaign using the Fallout 2D20 RPG. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, check out our Patreon for bonus content and special remixes. Patrons will even feature regularly as names in the ongoing campaign. Fallout, Vault Tech, Nuka-Cola, the Pip-Boy, the Brotherhood of Steel, and other related official content and components are owned by ZeniMax Media Incorporated. The 2D20 system is owned by Modifius Entertainment Limited. Bunker Safe, Cane Cola, The Short Order, and all other Down Home Setting components are the original creations of this podcast. All of the holotape, note, and log scripts were written by NPC. Performances provided by special guests, all of which are credited in the accompanying show notes and ID3 tags. The official theme songs were written and composed by Skip VonKuske. Most sound effects are either recorded and mixed by NPC, acquired from Tabletop Audio, or else acquired by Creative Commons Zero license. Sounds and effects requiring attribution are noted as such in the show notes and the ID3 tags of episodes in which they occur. Thanks again for listening. Y'all come back now.